me fucking scoot back a little so I don't punch the microphone.
Hey, come listen to our podcast, yeah. Please listen, it's a hitch. If you don't listen to our podcast, yeah, then you are a bitch.
Welcome, everybody, to the crazy, lazy, amazing podcast, otherwise known as The Clap. Filmoscopy. That was my other one. That's the Clap is my sexual transmitted disease.
It stands
podcast.
It stands for Come Look at Podcast.
This is Filmoscopy, a quaint little podcast with three friends / individuals / acquaintances from three different
gangsters.
Yeah, that too. / Russian bots.
Yeah.
That
three confirmed Russian bots.
That love to watch movies and share their opinions. You stupid Americans.
Yeah, do swidania.
This is Luscious Lance. To my right is Owen.
Yeah. What's up?
And Cum Blaster Cody.
It's Cum Blaster Cody ovulating Owen.
Luscious Lance.
Long dick Lance.
Yeah, baby.
So there we fucking go. All right.
Well, welcome to our episode. Today we are continuing a series that seemed to have killed the podcast listenership because it was the one that just dropped off at 20, and every episode since then has sucked.
Really? The first time we did the first Star Wars, it was bad?
It was only 20 listens, and then everything else has sucked.
They were probably fuck.
This series is the Star Wars movies just killed our podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at 31 average. I'm like, yeah, and then Cody's
Wars,
I'm gonna drop 3 in 3 weeks, motherfuckers. Our average going down.
Well,
Star Wars has
okay.
killed.
I wrote a little something that might bring the listeners back. They'll get that.
Okay,
they'll get that urge
deep
in their bowels that'll say, "I must listen."
Urethra.
Bowels, man. I'd be really careful because I may have to shit again.
We wrote a song.
All right, so y'all ready? Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for dun 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 dun? Hey, sorry.
I'm trying not to laugh while I did this.
Roses are red.
All right, my name is Luke, and I'm here to say I drink blue milk every day. It makes me feel fresh. It makes me feel cool. It makes me think of going back to school. But then I think of what Kylo Ren did, of how he killed all those children. I got so scared that I ran away. So I've been here to this very day. And then you had to come along to interrupt me while I wrote the song. So just kick back and drink some milk. It just goes down smooth as silk. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. There's a hair in my glass. I think it came from that alien's ass.
I don't know why that was so funny. I wasn't expecting that part.
I was thinking when I was watching that scene, what if he went over to one of them and he's like, "Oh, this one has just one long udder. I don't know why." He starts fucking pulling on it.
What if he, after he got done milking that one, he went to the other and just started jerking off, but knowingly doing it?
He started sucking its cock.
I will say one of the lines I originally had in that I ended up taking out just to make it kind of go together better was instead of saying milk makes me feel fresh, it makes me feel cool. I was gonna say it tastes so fresh, it tastes so sweet. Sometimes I drink it straight from the teat, and I cut it out because it didn't flow well with the rest of the song.
Well, Cody, that was a very beautiful song.
Thank you. I thought about it while I was in the shower this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, my two co-hosts of today's episode, my two co-founders of this podcast, are very musically inclined, and they're pretty incredible with this shit. I am not. I usually just end up repeating jokes that I've heard and think it's funny. So I am the least talented of the three, but I appreciate you listening to this episode. And we just know that my episodes will kind of suck and their episodes will be better. So,
You're a good beatboxer, bro. Don't put yourself down.
thanks. I appreciate it.
The fuck, have you guys, you know the fucking dumb like Thanos beatboxing meme or whatever the fuck?
I don't know.
It's like this animated video where they have like Thanos and he's beatboxing some other villain from like DC. I think it's I don't remember who it is. But he just starts beatboxing. It's like the funniest thing. He's like boom, chicka, boom, 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 boom. I don't know.
I like that. Star Wars Episode 8,
Is fact.
The Last Jedi.
I just gotta say, this movie slaps so hard.
Yeah, this movie slaps dead ass.
Oh, man.
Dead ass specifically.
Well, this is going to be a very interesting episode.
No cap, dead ass. This movie slapped though.
This episode is going to be very, how do I put this? Very interesting. I've been looking forward to this one for a while because I know Owen's opinion of this. Me and Cody, and very specifically my buddy Alex, have had long discussions on Twitter for some reason instead of in text messages when the movie came out about our opinions. Yeah, we need the world to see it, like all 100 followers that we have apiece. But this is a movie that I had a blinding hatred of when I first saw it. And I didn't go into it like expecting the worst and hating it. My buddy Alex will verify this, and I mean, Alex, if you're listening, go ahead and verify that I was extremely excited and asking him a bunch of questions before I went into the movies to see this movie.
Alex, stop what you're doing right now. If you're driving, pull over to the side of the road.
And tweet this at Filmoscopy.
Yes, tweet it and say, I verify this. And also
or
take
Lance
a
is full of
picture
shit.
of exactly where you are so we know if you pulled over on the side of the road.
If you're taking a piss or maybe shit,
Exactly.
you need to take a picture.
But also, Alex, I need you to say, either you verify this or Lance is full of shit. One of the two. And tweet at all three of us, or at least the podcast. It don't matter. Yeah. We'll find it. Just put it in the ether.
Just don't even tweet it to anybody. We'll find it.
I get alerts every time Alex tweets, so it's like I'll see it.
Create a completely new account, unconnected, tweet it, and we'll find it.
You know what? Don't worry about it. We'll come to you.
Yeah, we'll text you, Alex. Don't you worry about
come
this.
to you, all right?
Shout out to Alex and his podcast with his brother and his wife. I'll Take Three as well. It's a very good little podcast.
Is it because there's 3 of them? Is that why it's called I'll Take 3?
Yeah, and it's a treasure hunt podcast. It's like, I mean, it's an interesting concept. Like, I think I would be very honored if that was the case. But I think Alex was, at least. I'm sure. I don't know if Jacob was, but they were inspired by our idea to do this, or my idea to kind of like, hey, let's get you 3 guys, 3 different things.
Yeah.
And they just like, well, let's just pick 3 different, a subject a piece, and we pick our 3 movies based off that subject, and they go on to the next. And it's just kind of like an endless rotation. It's a really cool little idea.
Cool idea. It's too bad we didn't really like get creative with this.
Hey, man, I thought this shit up.
Yeah.
I came up with the name you came up with the name after I gave you the 2 names to put together.
Ow, my ears. Fuck.
Which is like the story of my life. I can never come up with the full idea. I can come up with the outline, though.
Story of
But
my
you gotta remember,
life.
you and me were talking about doing this for like a year or something before.
Yeah, but you wanted to do something like, I could never sleep because you're like, let's do all these fucking scary movies. I'm like, fuck you, Cody. And Cody had the initial idea, and I'm like, you know what? Shout out to another podcast, I can't even. What the hell is their name? The Real Bad Dudes Cast. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, that was back in archives. I talked about them, and just listening to their episode covering the thing, I was like, man, I want to do a podcast. And I remember what Cody said. I'm like, I'm sure Cody would be down. Let me ask Owen, because I knew at that point Alex and Jacob had already started doing. They were going to do a WrestleMania podcast where they go back and watch all the WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Welcome to the World Wrestling Federation.
Well, the funny thing is their first episode was actually really good. I don't know if they're ever going to release it. They let me sample it, and I thought it was really good.
Well, if they start now, they may be able to actually catch up by the time the last WrestleMania rolls around. Because it seems like WWE is just falling apart at the seams at the moment.
Oh, no, man. They're making so much money. I think they're going to sell. I really think somebody's going to buy them out because their numbers look incredible and all that shit. So.
You think WWE's going to sell?
Yeah. I don't think Vince McMahon's actively selling it, but somebody gives you a fucking price. It's like, Yeah, I'll sell it.
George Lucas.
Yeah.
But yeah, this to say, Alex and Jacob released the WrestleMania episode, please. Anyway, back to our show. Oh, wait, we have an ad to get through.
Blue Chew.
Step 1, BetMGM. Step 2, open the app.
My own app, yeah.
And I don't know because I always skip the ad at that point.
Yeah, I don't know what he says over there. He's like, my own app?
Yeah. You know the MGM app, Cody, with Jamie Foxx?
DraftKings.
Yeah.
Okay,
Make it
that's
rain.
what we got. He goes, it's like, step 1, BetMGM. Step 2, and then they got the one where it's, he was a fucking rapper in the 80s. I can't remember his name, but it's that Caesar's app.
Yeah, Caesar's app, bro.
Is
like,
MC
"My
Hammer?
own
Yeah. He's like, an app? Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, roaring. It's so stupid. It's what's stuck in my brain because
DraftKings. Make it rain.
all those sponsors, people.
What's
Have
in
you-
your wallet?
Cody, have you ever got the Doritos at Doritos?
What?
On YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
We are Doritos.
What are you fucking stupid? Oh, yeah, I did.
We just taste super good.
It's like, oh god, I hate that stupid.
Super
ad.
good, super good, super good.
Super good, super good, super good. Yeah, I get
Fuck
that ad
that
all the
ad.
time. It's like, fuck.
It's nonstop. I have to turn that shit off.
You know the ads that are the worst is like when it's like some like dumbass YouTuber who's obviously like pulled everything he has out of his bank account. He's like, if you want fat stacks like me and to drive a rented Lamborghini in a garage for a house that I rented out for the day, then you need to follow these steps. Like, I hate those ads.
Yeah.
It's like, those are so stupid.
That's that like one guy who became a meme where he's like, I read a book a day. And yeah, you go through Spark Notes and read a book a day.
And then we drink Doritos.
Because we just taste super good.
And you'll
Super
be on the
good,
toilet
super
after
good,
that.
super good.
Isn't it that fucking that rice? drink?
No, it's like the orange.
Yeah, it's-
Doritos is like a
Doritos.
like Mexican soda.
Yeah.
And they're like fruit
It's like
flavors
Fanta.
typically.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Fanta basically.
There's a
Yeah.
thing, and you can cut her name out. And I really don't care anymore. But Savannah,
Oh, her name's in the last episode. So, because in
Oh,
the
sweet.
last episode, you're like, yeah, I don't really care. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna quit editing it out then. Fuck it.
so Savannah is currently in canon of the podcast.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of thing, Doritos. It's like some rice water sweet drink that Mexican restaurants have. Some of them do.
Yeah.
And
Isn't it like chorizo or some
yeah,
shit?
maybe.
Chorizo's a spicy sausage.
Yeah, that's what I call my dick.
Uh,
And because it just tastes super good.
I love how you sounded like it's like such like a California valley dude. Like tastes
That's how he literally
super good.
Yeah, that's how he fucking says it. He's like, we just taste super good.
Like, bro, it tastes super good.
Dude, fucking gnarly, bro. Wow.
Go
Rocket power.
Go get that nar, bro.
What is it that they do? Because you said it the other day what they do in Rocket Power where they go,
oh, the woogity woogity woogity.
woogity, woogity. That show fucking sucks. Fuck Rocket
What?
Power.
I loved Rocket Power.
Dude, I hated the fuck out of Rocket Power. I couldn't stand it. I hated Squid. I hated the fucking purple-haired lady. The only good person was Tito. He was like, as the ancient Hawaiian said,
You know,
two in the pink, one in the stink.
it's funny because I mean, it's obviously not as good as like a lot of their other shows at the time, but
Yeah.
I did like watching it a lot.
I don't know. I didn't really like it, except when they had Tony Hawk as like a guest star. I was like, I know him.
I would rather watch like Rugrats or Wild Thornberries.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Hey Arnold, baby.
Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold.
I don't think Hey Arnold was Klasky Chupo though.
No, it wasn't. I think like
Yeah.
All Real Monsters, Rugrats.
Yeah, All Real Monsters was. Yeah.
Wild Thornberries.
We have somebody that we work with that looks like the Wild Thornberry.
Yeah, he looks like
He's
Nigel
not gonna listen to this
Thornberry. Yeah, he straight up looks like Nigel Thornberry.
It's Anthony. He's never going to
He
listen
got
to
that
this
big ass
episode.
nose and the kind of big teeth.
Yeah, he looks kind of. He also looks like Master Splinter.
They're coming out with a video game. It's called Nickelodeon All Star Brawl.
Yeah,
And-
they have Nigel Thornberry.
Made by
Yeah,
NRS.
Nigel Thornberry's in
NetherRealm
it.
Studios.
Yeah, Nigel's in it. A lot of the old Nicktoons are in it.
Yeah, Cat Dog is in it.
Cat? No.
One fine day with a wolf and a
The
bear.
only Rugrats character in it so far is Reptar. which makes
That's
sense.
fucking stupid. They should have put a massive Tommy that just shits his pants. I don't know, Tommy. I don't think you should poop yourself.
That's
I
what
can't do a Chucky voice.
That's what Chucky said in Rugrats All Growed Up.
Yeah, he's like, I don't. They're telling. He's like, no, Chucky, you just gotta spit on your hand and jerk off, dude. I don't know, Tommy.
You make me think of the God, that fucking unicorn video from YouTube like 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Charlie.
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyway, we should probably get back to the movie.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the movie now.
This one movie has stained my mind. When he said unicorns, the only thing that went through my head was like, look at my hooves.
They're not unicorns, they're zebras.
I know that. But they're part of the horse family.
The unicorns aren't real.
The unicorns of Africa.
Unicorns aren't real, Lance. I'm sorry to tell you this. It's hard to say it. Time to say it. Unicorns aren't real.
I got a question before we get started.
Unicorn.
Okay, guys?
Unicorn.
Okay. Journalists keep journals.
Yeah.
What do analysts keep? Annals?
Yeah, they keep it. Yeah,
I keep sending Cody and Alex these videos of this white guy with a mustache and long hair doing these interviews. Like, I sent Cody one of Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
And he asked all these like stupid. He asked like Michael Irvin. He goes, "Journalists keep journals. What do analysts keep? Annals?" And Michael Irvin just started losing. He goes, "I don't keep annals." It's some stupid fucking shit. It's great though. And he's like, Pac-Man Jones was doing I guess he's doing a fight last week on pay-per-view or something like that, boxing now. And he was like, he goes, "What are the people going to say? Why would I pay for a Pac-Man Jones fight when any night of the week I can go to a Cincinnati nightclub and watch it for free?" And Pac-Man just busted out laughing. It was some good shit. All right, well, back to our show. We're watching The Princess Bride.
Episode 1 million.
Okay, first and foremost, now that we've already went through like what was your first experiences with Star Wars as a franchise?
Yeah.
What was your experiences first time with this movie? And I'm going to start off with Cody, then me, and then work to Owen, because Owen is the host of honor in this episode. Because me and Cody have already talked a lot. I don't know anything about Owen's opinion, but a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to see how this plays out, because Owen was the one that is like, he has no love for Star Wars because of these movies. But now he's watching The Mandalorian. I feel like it's coming back a little bit.
Yeah, The Mandalorian's fun. You should, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched The Mandalorian and you used to like Star Wars, you should watch The Mandalorian. It's fun.
It's really good, and it's setting up a great show in the Book of Boba Fett coming out in December.
And a video game leaked. Apparently they're making like a shooter that sort of looks like that Star Wars 1313 that they canceled years ago.
Isn't it going to be by EA though? It'll probably be dog shit.
No. So the EA contract ended.
Yes.
The contract expired, and EA can still make games, but I think they learned their lesson by being like, EA is going to have a 10-year window where they're the only ones who can make Star Wars games, because when they formed their like Marvel publishing section for video games, they were basically like, we'll put our feelers out and anybody can come to us, but we want like high profile studios making great games. We don't want everything restricted to one publisher. So that's why we got like,
that was such like a bad mistake, because that's what they did with the Marvel games. That's why all the Marvel games suck, is because it's like, okay.
And that's why I probably mad.
Well, I mean, the Marvel games the last few years are, for the most part, pretty good. I mean, you got the Spider-Man games on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, there's those.
But,
I think he's talking about more like Marvel versus Capcom type, right?
Not even, no. I'm thinking about, I guess I'm thinking about, because they don't really make too many like Marvel movie games anymore, but they used to make like Captain America games and shit.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know. Like during the 360 era, you're talking about like the specifically the movie ones.
Yeah.
Like now, ever since like 2014, it's more like, these game studios can make their own ideas, present them to Marvel, and they'll say yay or nay. Like, for example, last week they just announced that Firaxis, the creators of Civilization and XCOM, are making a tactical Marvel game called Midnight Suns, which is awesome because it features like Ghost Rider and Blade and Doctor Strange and like some more of these characters that are more like on the darker side of Marvel. And it does have like Iron Man and Captain America, but they're not really the focus.
What's that? There's that one game that came out where you play as like the stretchy girl or something.
Oh,
she's like trying to become an Avenger.
Yeah, it's just the Avengers, which that one, it's okay.
There's something funny in that game, and where like they had like a scene with the Incredible Hulk, and he like comes out and he's like growling, and like they didn't get anybody to voice him growling. What they did for some reason was put the script into like a text to speech thing. So when Hulk like breaks through a wall, it's just Hulk saying like a vicious growling like in a robot voice. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but yeah, you play as, or the main character of that game is Miss Marvel.
Is it like an Injustice like setup? Like there's a story mode and you do fights or whatever?
No.
It's
So
like a fighting game.
It's
like
more like an action adventure game.
Yeah.
So like you go around beating up enemies, collecting like equipment and stuff, and yeah.
You can make your hand really big, so you can make your dick really big.
Well, I mean, I don't have to do that, but
but you can make your dick really small. I
but
guess.
you can with Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Blue Chew.
Please sponsor us, Blue Chew. Send us some dick pills.
We just need we can get $15 by doing an Anchor sponsor. We haven't done that shit yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck. But real quick on the game front, I've talked to Cody and Owen about this, and I think they're kind of lukewarm. I would like to see NetherRealm Studios get a license to do a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
It would go full circle because
it could be fun. I just don't see. Like,
I think they could make it an action adventure game though, like that. It doesn't have to be fighting with the movie because they had the conquest mode.
Yeah, but that was such a long time ago. I doubt most of the team that made Deception. I doubt a lot of them are still there.
Yeah, but see, I remember they never did lay anybody off when the game, like
Yeah.
2008 and everything was going downhill. They've never laid anybody off.
Yeah, I'm just willing to bet like a lot of people have either like moved on, like I doubt. I don't think anybody like got maybe fired, but
yeah,
I'm willing to bet most people
They
probably just left.
I think they did. I think like the main people though that were still like John Vogel.
Yeah.
Obviously the co-creator John Tobias is not with them, but he's still friends with them.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's still Ed Boon. It's still John Vogel still there. I mean, the story guy I'm not very crazy about because it's a jumbled mess when they rebooted it, and with MK 2011. But I just remember hearing that John Tobias in interviews, and Ed Boon has said it too. It's not like we're just making up shit. It's really cool. You hear both sides of the story when you listen to different interviews, but they always line up like, okay, these dudes got no reason to lie. It's really cool. But they always said they wanted to make a Star Wars game, so they made Mortal Kombat, which was originally going to be like a
Fight Club game, I think.
Well, it's going to be like based off Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
That's who Johnny Cage is based off of, obviously.
Or Bloodsport, not Fight
Yeah,
Club.
Bloodsport,
Shit.
yeah. It's like Fight Club, baby.
One of the two.
But after Mortal Kombat,
37 times.
Where is my mind? Oh, and the water.
Well, they did, and just real quick so I can finish this up, I'll lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I did the same thing to you guys all the time. I'm like, yeah, Cody, let me ask you these bunch of questions so you can't get your point across. But they said that after they got done with Mortal Kombat, they're like, we'd like to do a Star Wars game. They were asking Midway, got it? Okay. Midway, like, could you get the Star Wars license? Because, this is 1992, 1993. Star Wars wasn't like an all-time popularity right now. It was kind of like at that point, I feel like just from the outside looking at it, it was at a, like, it's a rearview mirror. The last movie came out in 83, and this is 1993. So it's like, it's been 10 years. They just make it. They wanted to make a Star Wars game. Well, the developer's like, no, you need to make Mortal Kombat 2. This shit's fucking selling like hotcakes. And then they put it on home console, and it fucking blew up even more. So I'm like, it would be kind of cool going full circle, almost 30 years later now. Like, hey, we're going to be doing a Star Wars game. Like,
yeah,
fuck yeah, man.
According to everyone now, they're doing Mortal Kombat 12 because they're scared of being sold off, which I still don't believe personally.
Well, Warner Brothers, it may not be up to them. It may not be up to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers merged with Discovery, but
right.
Discovery having a controlling interest.
So when that happened, Discovery sold off one of the studios. They sold off like a mobile game studio. And they specifically said that they weren't planning on selling off any more studios because all the studios they have that are there still focus on their intellectual properties, and that's what they want. They want to keep game studios because it's the biggest entertainment industry in the entire world, and but each one of them specifically makes games based on stuff that Discovery and Warner Brothers owns, and that includes Mortal Kombat. I don't think they would get rid of NetherRealm because NetherRealm is probably their highest grossing studio they have. I mean, Mortal Kombat 11 and
what
10.
about God of War, though?
What about God of War?
I think that's another studio that makes God of War that they own.
No. That's Sony. Sony owns that studio.
Sony.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I imagine. I don't know why you would want to sell NetherRealm.
No, because right now they have NetherRealm. They have a studio that's making that Harry Potter game, which is a property they own.
You could sell NetherRealm so you could stop looking at Ed Boon's eyebrows. You don't have to see that shit.
Then they have like 2 DC game studios. So like, I'm pretty sure they're keeping what they got now. So, I mean, it may be that NetherRealm started making Mortal Kombat 12 because the merger was going to happen, and they were worried at the time. So obviously, if you're already starting production on it, they're going to finish it because But I don't think that that fear is there anymore. I think that information that came out was probably old information.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping if Mortal Kombat 12 comes out, I may have to get a fucking PS5 just playing it, or I may I'd have to get it, man. I couldn't just watch the cutscenes on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm like, fuck. Hopefully Cody will buy a fucking special edition PS5 and sell me his. That's how I got my PS4, baby.
I try to get that special edition Halo Halo Xbox they're coming out with, and that motherfucker was sold out in like 5 minutes.
Coming out with Halo Infinite or what?
Yeah, it's coming out with Halo Infinite.
I really wish I could have seen like Stephanie's reaction when you came home with it.
No, she's the one that says she wanted it, so that's why we were going to get it.
Damn it!
She's like, I want to play Halo.
Which one was it? Metal Gear Solid Xbox you had, Cody? Is that what that was?
No, Gears of War.
Gears of War.
You've told this story before.
I know. It makes me smile every time. Look, Stephanie. And she just walks in her room and slams the door.
I thought it was the Star Wars one, and he turned it on and made the little like R2-D2 sound.
Oh no,
no, that was something we talked about. I thought.
Yeah, we talked about that one because at the time she was actually going to get me that for Christmas the year it was supposed to come out, and then I think they delayed it to like March the following year, so I ended up just getting like a regular Xbox 360S or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't remember, the slim model,
Yeah, the black ones.
Shady.
Because my original one was sounding like a fucking helicopter taking off every time I turned it on.
Yeah, my original got the red ring, and then I had to get an S.
But anyway, let's get to the movie because we have still haven't gotten to it.
Hey, Alex says this is the best part of the podcast is when we go on tangents.
Yeah,
and
but
like
I know I don't want to get into a same situation we were with Suicide Squad where
we did talk about
a lot of our momentum was killed in the front half.
Oh no, man! This movie's gonna have a lot of momentum. I also like to say we had a nice compliment from Alex saying we were very much like Gorley and Rust, and I'm like, oh man, that's just what I want. Like the easy listening. They'll release like 2.5 hour episodes, and it's just fucking fun throughout the whole time. You're not like, fuck, when is this gonna end? All right, Cody, what was your first experience with The Last Jedi?
So my first experience was going to the theater and seeing it. I think I went either the first or second weekend that it was out. It's the only Star Wars movie I've ever seen in theaters. And I will
way to go out. Like,
I will say, I will say that my opinion of it has gotten worse every time I see it. So I'll just leave it at that until we actually start digging deep into it. But the initial time that I saw it, I was actually like really like into it, and the second time I saw it, I was like, this isn't as good as I thought it was initially, and then this time is even worse than that. So
My experience is probably the opposite of Cody's, which is weird. And this is the bombshell I was going to drop on the episode. Also, this is my last episode, everybody. I just randomly, guys, I got a bombshell to drop on this episode. Cody's like, "Are you going to fucking quit?"
I have to get a testicle removed.
I have to get a testicle removed.
I just feel like that would be the kind of thing you'd blindside us with.
No, I'm not like Cody. Like, sorry guys, I know we're going to record in 40 minutes, but I got delayed for 2 days. I'm not Cody. I'm like, guys, I'm like setting shit up in advance. Like, we good for next week, right, guys?
I know we have to record in a second, but I'm going to space. So
I'll see you guys in a little bit.
So I'll
My
see you
name's
guys
Jeff
maybe.
Bezos.
I'm getting put in cryogenic stores, so I'll see you guys in like 200 years.
I'm gonna go help colonize Mars. So I'll see you again, never. Because I doubt the internet will make it there before I die.
Anyway, sorry, but I watched it Christmas Eve, 2017, because these movies always release like a week before Christmas.
What a yummy little Christmas present.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Well, it's funny because I watched it, and I always go see the Star Wars movies with my dad.
Yeah.
And it's like Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is the day I spend with my dad. What?
What's funny about it? He sees it with his dad.
I was like, you go to see it with your dad, but you look over, you're like, what'd you think of that, Dad? It's just like a creepy mall Santa sitting next to you, like, oh shit.
Okay. It is funny.
Dad?
It's just a horse. Wait, you're not my dad.
My dad's like, I'm not watching this shit. Fucking Lance won't fucking know. Like, this is my dad.
It's just 2 midgets in an overcoat. How'd you think about that, Dad?
Oh man,
That's fucked up. That's well, anyway, I watched it Christmas Eve. That's the day I always spend with my dad. Christmas Day I was at my mom's house and my stepdad. But Christmas Eve we saw it, and I remember texting. Alex had seen it before me, and I was like, text him all these questions, like, dude, you find out who Ray's parents are? He goes, yes. Are you gonna tell me? He's like, no, and he wouldn't spoil anything. Alex is a good friend. The quite opposite of Aaron, who spoiled that Han Solo died in the last movie.
Han Solo gets his dick sucked.
I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
I'm loving Cloud City.
I watched it.
Let's
Let
go.
me go ahead and get this out of the way before I lose my train of thought. I watched it, and I fucking hated this movie. Like, I was probably at the height, or getting close to my height of my toxic fandom, which I'm still like struggling to like shed. It's like, no, man, your shit's stupid, mine's cool. I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm very much still struggling with like that because it's so easy to do online. You get sucked into it. Like, you have to defend your point of view even though no one's talking at you. You just see somebody you disagree with. You're like, oh, man, fucking Last Jedi sucked or whatever. But I had long discussions on Twitter with Alex, and one of Alex's friends jumped in and was like, and then Cody would jump in, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm getting ganged up on. Like, all these guys are like just squeezing on each one of Rian Johnson's udders. Like, oh, this is a great movie.
His little green milk cock.
I will say that I've had so many discussions with Cody, just like, not like every day we see each other, because we'd only see each other like once a month, and we haven't seen each other forever because he's no longer my friend. But I'm just kidding. As soon as the vaccinations go through, I'll be over there. But
That was Cody. Sorry, everybody. That was Cody. He's kind of mad.
Cody, please leave that growl in. That was perfect.
Why are you so mad? Damn, Cody.
Damn,
Like,
Cody,
it's just a joke.
We're
Shit.
still friends, dude. I promise.
Calm down. Shit.
But we had long discussions about it, and I think I had a hand in turning Cody's opinion, because I was like, Cody, look, this doesn't make any sense, dude. And probably being extremely toxic, if I'm being honest about it. But oddly enough, I didn't watch the movie again for like 2 years. And then right before Episode 9 came out, I'm like, I'm going to watch all the Star Wars movies leading up to this. And I took a deep breath when I watched Last Jedi, and I'm like, you know what? It went from hating it with like venom in my saliva and just like frothing at the mouth and hate, just so much hate for this movie. And I'm like, It went from hating to, it's okay. Like, and then watching it this time, I actually kind of liked it a little bit more. Not saying I loved it, not saying I actually liked it, but I'm more on the positive side from, that's where I'm at. So it's kind of weird because of the opposite reaction of Cody's, which is what I was hoping for. And then I'll turn this over to Owen. Sir, what was your opinion and first experience of The Last Jedi before watching it this time?
So, like, I had seen all the backlash against The Last Jedi before I watched it. I think I watched it, like, on Christmas, just, like, while it was on TV, like, at a Christmas party or something. And I remember thinking...
Oh, you go to parties?
Yeah.
You got friends like that?
No, it was, like, a family thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
you have
that
family,
cool.
too?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just, I was actually just alone. And I
Okay.
had a bunch of stuffed animals around me.
Having a tea party.
Yeah.
More tea, Mr. Snuffles?
But I remember just like watching it and being like, this is like so fucking boring, and like I had no interest in it whatsoever. So the first time I think that I've really like sat down and watched it like properly is probably this time, watching it for this. But I can say that like I never really felt anything for these new movies, and I still really don't. I can now identify like what I don't like about it, and I've been able to like identify some things of the movie that I think do work and are like good, but it's like, you know, the bad definitely outweighs the good for me.
Okay. And you have not seen episode 9, right?
No, I have not seen episode 9.
Okay, I'd be interested to see, because I actually enjoy episode 9.
Episode 9 actually opens with a System of a Down song.
That's pretty dope.
That would be fucking awesome, to be honest with you.
Why do they always say the poor? I
have to acknowledge that I spewed a lot of hate towards Rian Johnson over this movie.
Yeah.
And there's a YouTube channel called Star Wars Theory, and it's this dude. He's got over 1 million subscribers, and he's a really nice guy, really positive, and stuff like that. He just doesn't like The Last Jedi, and he respects people's opinion who does. But he found this interview from when someone was interviewing Rian Johnson. It's like poor quality. It's like when Rian Johnson was starting his directing career, and he said, paraphrasing, and I could have it wrong, but I think the message is correct, that he would like to have movies have half the audience love them, half the audience hate them. He wants to be divisive.
I saw him talk about that. I thought it was in reference to this movie, though, where he was like, if I can make a movie and have half the audience hate it and half the audience love it, then I've succeeded, is what he said.
And that's just a fucking piss poor, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a piss poor, but it's just like a fucking shitty thing to do. It's like, why not just try to make the best movie possible? And like I said, I've got no skills when it comes to like directing, producing. I talk into a microphone, and Cody does all the fucking work and puts all the music in for us. Like I have no skills. I couldn't even write a short story. But I remember watching this movie, and I remember when I was discussing with Alex, Alex was like, "Are you just like?" And he wasn't saying this in a condescending way. He goes like, "Are you just upset that it didn't go like how the expanded universe went?" And I'm like, "No, I understand wanting it to do it differently. I just wanted if you're replacing the expanded universe with these movies better be fucking good, because you're erasing a lot of backstory that's actually kind of interesting for some of the characters. Like Luke is actually married, has a kid. Han and Leia have 3 kids. One of them becomes a Sith Lord and dies. Their youngest one ends up dying in a TIE fighter fight battle with he's an X-wing pilot and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool shit, but they're just erasing all this for these new movies. And then you watch episode 7, which I actually talked myself into liking before I watched episode 8, because I remember not really liking episode 7 a lot. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll give it a chance. I talked myself into Kylo Ren's stupid little helmet, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then everything about this movie is like hard left turn, hard right turn, hard left turn, just for the sake of it. And like we're about to get into the plot, but it's like it would be interesting to see Rian Johnson, and I'm sure I've been told the Knives Out movies are fantastic by Cody. I think he said it on the podcast. And I know Alex is a fan of them, and I'm sure his other movies are divisive, but it's interesting because it's his own property that he's creating. You're taking a story that's already been laid out, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and a property, and you're just doing it just to piss off the audience because you think it's funny.
Like,
And then and here's the thing. He says, if I like the audience, I want the audience to be divisive. Half to hate it, half to love it. And he just picks one side and rides with it. And it's like, haha, look at the people that hate this movie. They're stupid. Like, he does that shit. It's like, it's all pre-planned and it's stupid.
I mean, I don't know much about like Rian Johnson's like opinions really on kind of the hate towards it. Has he been on? He's been on.
I got
record
something
of
for
being
you.
like,
Oh no, this motherfucker.
But like, I can get kind of like, I understand sort of what he's trying to do. He's trying to make like, he's trying to basically breathe new life into Star Wars and make it like, I forget the word I use. It's like he's trying to
Reinvigorate it?
I guess so.
Well, I don't think you had that issue of reinvigorating Star Wars because Episode 7 did over $2 billion. It's in the top 5 all-time box
Yeah, but
office.
it's not like Episode 7 isn't an interesting film because it just rehashes the same stuff that Episode 4 does. At least to me.
I mean, I get that too, yeah, but I'm just saying it's like, it would be one thing if the first movie sucked, and he's like, well, I'm just trying to like, do something different. This isn't Friday the 13th Part 6.
Yeah.
Where they do a new take on it. It's completely different.
I think he's just trying to basically do something new with the formula, I guess. Yeah, he's trying to mix up the formula of Star Wars is what he's trying to do. But the thing is that he fails spectacularly at it because it's such a like childish attempt basically where he's like, oh, let's just take so like, most of our protagonists have interesting origins, that they don't know about. Well, let's just take that and let's make it like the exact opposite with our main character, and she's just trash. And it's like, okay. And then like, oh, well, there's a thief in this, there's like a scoundrel character that they run into. And the audience is going to expect that he's going to be like a thief with a heart of gold. Well, let's just take that to the logical opposite conclusion and be like, no, he's actually just totally a piece of shit.
But some of these decisions that he made, to me, is what exacerbates some of the issues that I personally have with this film. Stuff like the whole like thief finding the thief subplot, to me it's unnecessary, mostly because it makes the movie too long.
Yes, and that's the biggest.
Movie really like it starts to like really like drop toward the middle of it, and it sort of picks back up in the end, but in the middle there's just so much stuff that feels like filler. Like, to me, something I was thinking about when I was watching it again, like the whole like thing with them going to the planet and the casino and finding the thief and all that felt like an episode of a series that was like crammed in the middle of a movie.
That's exactly right. This movie should have ended 40 minutes before it did, basically. Yeah. The casino planet stuff is uninteresting. It's unnecessary. You don't even really need it to get to like the logical point where, okay, they get on the Imperial Star Destroyer to destroy the fucking thing that they're going
and like
after.
What's the they go like, oh well, there's these people that they keep these kids as slaves and they mistreat animals. It's like, we know that the Star Wars universe is full of garbage, people. Yeah. That's been shown in plenty of the other movies. Anakin Skywalker was a slave in the first film.
It's not interesting either. Like, the entire planet, just from its conception isn't interesting. Like, it's a casino planet, and its design isn't interesting, and it doesn't feel like Star Wars.
No.
Most Isley feels like Star Wars. This weird fucking Las Vegas world does not feel like Star Wars. Yeah,
and you said it exactly. It's entirely uninteresting. And I know at the time when this movie came out, there were so many people that were very much hardcore supporters. It's like, oh, you just don't like this subplot because it features Rose in it and she's an Asian woman. It's like, no, that's not the problem at all. The problem is just that it doesn't feel like it fits in the rest of the movie. That's been happening.
And Rose isn't like... Rose as a character really isn't interesting.
And,
There's nothing to her, like, really. Like, she's basically like a rebel jihadist. Like, she's like, you gotta die for the cause. Until at the end when, she does we have to save what we love.
Well, and they could have made her more interesting. Like, we know that she has some kind of, like, mechanical knowledge because of, just where she is on the ship when she's first introduced. Instead of having to go find a thief to like break them into the into the tracking room or whatever, why not just like say like Rose has some sort of experience or has some kind of know-how on how to do this, and skip the entire casino thing, and
Exactly.
you
It
know,
would have
just
added to her character a little bit and would have made her at least a little bit more interesting.
Real quick before we go any further. Now, there is controversy, as always, with this kind of stuff, that a lot of people hated on Rose, like the actor, the actress, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I don't know why people hated specifically on her. Like, I don't think it's her
think
fault that her character
it's
fell.
not her fault that her character. I mean, I'm not against her character. I'm just kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
I think she does a good job
Like,
of what she's got.
I really want to like these characters, but they do such a terrible fucking job. And this was a complaint that I didn't bring up in the first one. Is that like these characters are not as interesting as the original characters in any way, shape, or form.
yeah.
And sorry, go ahead. Okay.
You guys are on our first date now.
Yeah. Sorry. But okay. So like, take Ray for instance, versus Luke.
Ray.
Yeah.
Booyaka,
619 Ray Mysterio. Yo, don't pull in Stampede.
Okay, first and foremost, let's go ahead and establish Poe is trash.
Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
The
X-Wing pilot. He's
yeah,
trash.
he's just like
He's a shitty character, not the actor.
Yeah.
He's a shitty character. I will go ahead and say this right now. Finn.
he's literally like
Finn is my favorite character of these movies.
Poe Dameron is literally like a children's toy put into a movie. He's literally only there to sell fucking toys to children so that they can have like a cool starfighter guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
He's Wedge,
He's
but
literally
with more lines.
He's fucking
Yeah.
Wedge with he's Wedge with more
but
lines.
he's probably not as good as Wedge.
before we get too far away from it, because you brought up like the toxicity toward the actress that plays Rose, and I can't remember her name, and I wish I could, but
I can get it up real quick.
okay.
With my blue chew.
I'll keep going while you bring that up, but that goes back to what we were talking about on the last Star Wars episode with just like extremely toxic fan bases, like because just think about Star Wars itself. You know, there's all kind of like talk of
Kelly
how
Marie Tran. Yeah.
Kelly. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong. But
Real quick, Cody. Let's do just a quick little exercise of the three characters: Poe, Finn, and Ray. How would you guys rank them? Go, Owen.
Okay, so I think Finn is the most likable, and I was talking to Lance about this. See, Finn is the most likable because he has motivation. What was the fucking word I use? I always forget by the time I get to the podcast the word I use.
No motivations. He feels relatable. He feels human.
He feels because he has
range too. I'm not saying that like to be mean. He has range to me. I'm gonna go ahead and say my little part real quick. That Finn and Rose are probably I like them better than Ray and Poe in this movie. Poe is useless to me, not the actor, just the character. And there's some inconsistencies with this movie. Like, you know, Finn, I thought it would have been more powerful if Finn had died in this movie, going into the canon like that. But seeing how little he's used in the last movie, it probably would have been better for the character because it could have been like a martyr. But Rose saving him was just kind of inconsistent.
yeah,
And I don't understand how he got there so slowly and she got there so fast to save him.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it doesn't make sense because she was going the opposite direction entirely, and she somehow turned around, got that piece of shit thing all the way down there, and stopped him before he hit it. Like, that didn't make any sense to me either. It's like, all right, this is weird, but all right, whatever.
So, okay, so I'm going to, because I forgot the fucking word that just sums up completely clearly what I mean. But, so Luke Skywalker's ultimate goal is to get, or his goal in the beginning of the film, and what makes him relatable is that he has this goal, and his goal is to get off of his home planet to join the fight with the rebels and, like, have adventure. Now, take fucking Rey's, what is her ultimate goal? She has no, like, her goal is to find her parents, but she has nothing, like, it doesn't affect the story really. Fuck, I can't remember the fucking word to use when...
I see what you're saying. Okay, so you all have kind of, like, said who you like more. From a likability standpoint, yes, Finn and Rose are more likable than Rey and and Poe. I definitely would put Poe at the bottom of the list, like just flat out. But I really do like Rey, and
She's
what you're
kind of
saying,
cute in this movie too.
you're saying like, like her only purpose is to find her parents, but her wanting to find her parents has basically led her into the situation she's in, where she's now helping the resistance. And we complained in the last podcast, like, why is it a resistance? In the beginning of this movie, at the very least, it says, like, during the word crawl, it says, like, Emperor Snoke or Supreme Leader Snoke or whatever has crushed the Republic. So now
that was in that movie though, with Death Star, not Death Star, Starkiller base.
Yeah.
When they killed it, the thing that didn't make any sense about the Resistance, like, okay, the new Republic, controls what the Republic controlled. Like the First Order came out of the Outer Rim, the remnants of the Empire. So what is the Resistance from? Are they all from the Outer Rim? That's what doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the Resistance is sort of just like this subsection of people that were part of the Republic and supported the Republic that are now trying to fend off the First Order because they're taking control of everything like the Empire did. But the Empire did it over a longer period of time, whereas this seems my issue with that part of it is it just seems a little too quick.
No, and the thing is, it's like, and we talked about it before. Episode 7 is a rehash of Episode 4.
Yeah,
and I that ultimately falls on JJ. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna blame JJ or Rian Johnson. I blame Catherine Kennedy, the CEO, because she didn't have a fucking plan for these movies. Here, you guys just make the story, and we'll put these movies out, and make money, which they did. They made their money back. This one and Episode 9 both crossed $1 billion. Episode 7 made over $2 billion. So it's like they've made their money and then some. So it's just one of those things, like, they don't really care. She's not Kevin Feige, where she actually cares about the source material and all that. But the thing is, it's like the Resistance. I mean, what are they resisting when the First Order is supposed to be much smaller than the New Republic? And the New Republic's like fucking toothless.
That's something else that I had a problem with in the story, because during the whole like find the thief subplot, he's like, well, it all just goes to the highest bidder or whatever. The highest bidder is the First Order. Look at all this stuff that this person who owned the ship was selling to the First Order. But it's like, where the fuck did the First Order get the resources to even do any of this? But something I want to circle back to before we get too far away from it. Is
I think Owen had one more point on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
go ahead, Owen.
I'm trying to like collect what I'm trying to think about with the main characters. And it's like, okay, so Rey's, yes, her motivation is to find her parents, but I don't think that motivation is like interesting enough, and it doesn't make, because it would be better if she had like a goal that would make it to where she had to work for it. The fact of the matter is that throughout the movies, she's like, or throughout the first movie at least, she's mostly just bumbling, into scenarios and stuff, and it's just coming out them like, because she's a master at everything. She's the expert pilot, she's the expert mechanic, and she has like no real goal outside of finding her parents. She's not like, oh, I want to take down the rebel. It doesn't feel like she's going on a hard like journey, really. You know what I mean? With Luke, it's like, oh, I want to be.
He had nothing left because his aunt and uncle got killed.
Yeah, and he's like
he left everything behind.
His motivation is like, okay, I want to be, I really want to take down the Empire and become a Jedi Master. And it's like, that's going to be a tough road. He's going to get some setbacks, and he does in that movie. He's not like the best person ever.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. It just goes back on the writing of the characters. I think all the actors do fine with what they have. Again, I'm very partial to Finn because he plays serious or funny, or he can do any of that.
Finn is interesting as a character, is the most interesting of the new characters because specifically he has faults, he fails. People are like, oh, Finn, you're like an idiot, basically, like plenty of times throughout the movies. And he has like a motivation that is interesting. His original motivation is to get away from the Empire because he was a former stormtrooper. You know, that's an interesting like character conception. That's way more interesting than Rey, who is like desert orphaned. We've seen that shit before.
Do you guys sense that he has like a crush on Rey too?
Who?
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah, and
Finn?
that part,
there's supposed to be like a romance, I think.
But that was just a weird thing because I always watch these two movies just like, well, and that's what always kind of awkward for me when they have the Rose where she's trying to be romantic with Finn at the end. I'm like, Finn's in love with Rey.
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean,
going to be really
It's
bad. I feel
it's
bad
a
for
really
her because
bad
I've been
kiss, dude. It's like
yeah, I
it's
mean,
like
he
she
spent,
and
he
I've
spends
been the
most of
third
movie-
wheel.
He spends most of the movie walking around, be like, "Where's Rey? Where's Rey? Where's Rey? I gotta
And,
find
you know,
Rey. We gotta
Where's
save
woman?
the resistance and
I
save
need
Rey."
pussy.
It's like, gosh, dude, like, worry about your plot. Yeah, that's another annoying thing. It's like, you know, they're like, we're gonna go down to this casino planet so we can save the resistance and save Rey. It's like, what? Like, why specifically call it out? We know that he's concerned about Rey, but it's like Owen was said, they're like smacking you over the head with it. Like, yeah, he obviously is in love with Rey, at least during this film,
yeah.
or at least until
cares.
Rose kisses him, and then I guess he just, you know, whatever. But
Wait,
so
I love the opera singer that had like 8 tits.
so
Yeah.
we're getting further away from it, but I do want to finish my thought from earlier. The Kelly Marie Tran thing. You know, like I said, it spawns from a toxic fan base. They did the same thing with the actor that played Jar Jar Binks. So, but
I'm sorry,
it's
that didn't
a lot of
laugh.
toxic fan bases are like that. And what comes to mind is when Sony put out The Last of Us Part 2, and there's a character in the game named Abby, and a lot of people hated Abby. I didn't like Abby as a character myself, but you know, people took it to the extreme where they were like harassing the voice actress and
Oh, yeah, that's
threatening
retarded.
her and shit.
Or, I
It's
mean,
like,
stupid. Oops.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck is your problem? She only played the character. She didn't write the character, and plus, she shouldn't be threatening anybody for
They-
the
they didn't
portrayal
even-
or creation of a fictional character. I mean, it's so
They don't even like
stupid.
face scan people, do they? Like, there's nobody that looks like those
No,
characters.
no, she doesn't. The character doesn't even look anything like the actress that plays her.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just-
fucking see the point in that.
But it's just toxic people who want to lash out at somebody because they're upset about it, and the person who portrays that character is the easiest target for them. And
Yeah.
you know, we've talked about, did Rose really like serve an ultimate purpose in this movie? Not really, but she wasn't necessarily like a terrible character. She didn't ruin the movie. She didn't pull down any scenes or like destroy any scenes a lot, you know, like Jar Jar Binks did back in the day.
Hey.
Hey, Jar Jar Binks is amazing.
I like Jar Jar.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Rose-
I love that scene where he's like hitting
Steps
things
into
with his
shit.
tongue, and Qui-Gon Jinn, you know, grabs his tongue, and like,
Look,
it's just so
okay.
goofy.
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and say this right now, and the reason why I like Jar Jar is because I feel bad for the actor, and I like the actor. He went through all that shit in a hot rubber suit.
the character
filming it-
still sucks though.
I'm sure it still does, but I'm just saying why I like it, and it can be a little deeper. You can pick and choose, it's fine. But I'm just saying, he went through all that shit in the desert, filming all that shit in a hot rubber suit, and then for them to go, no, we're going to do it CGI, so you have to do absolutely everything behind a green screen, interacting with them again.
And
So he
that's-
had to do the movie twice as an actor.
And that's fine, and I'm not saying anything against the actor.
No, I know
or,
that, yeah,
or the
Ahmed
portrayal
Best.
of the character.
Ahmed Best is
I'm talking
like
about
he's-
the writing of the character and the scenes that the character was in. Where, like, again, the example I just used, the scene where like Qui-Gon is talking to, I believe it's Anakin's mom, Shmi or whatever.
Shmee.
And Jar Jar's just acting completely silly. It's like, why is this here? Like, why does this need to be a part of this scene, just to further indicate that Jar Jar is just like a completely
Retarded
clueless and
individual.
silly
It's 'cause-
character? You know,
it's
it doesn't
'cause
make any
they were-
sense.
They were talking about serious things, and George Lucas was like, "Well, I need something for the kids to laugh at while they talk about this.
I need
so-
something that'll jiggle my neck roll in the
Yeah, I
movie
need something
theater.
that'll make my belly laugh."
And, you know, this movie, The Last Jedi, is head and shoulders above 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
yeah, because there's
yeah.
emotion at least in this movie. So
Yeah, and it's easy to follow, and it's not fucking crammed with shit that they have to explain in 2 fucking cartoon series just to make it fit
Though this-
into the original movie.
this movie that we're discussing now has fucking god awful pacing. Like it's dog shit. This movie, the pacing in this movie is dog shit.
Yeah.
One thing I like to compare it to is so the opening of this movie, you know how like it just fucking starts on the base and that pans up and there's the fucking Empire right there and they have to run.
Mhm.
So remember back to Empire Strikes Back.
Like a quick editor's note, Owen will probably be covering more of the plot because I can't remember all the plot.
Yeah, exactly. Because
And-
it sucks shit.
Well, it's not so much. I struggle with it every time we watch
But
a movie now.
I
Okay.
literally just watched it this morning, so I remember a lot of it.
Okay, so remember back to Empire Strikes Back, where we have all that lead up to the attack.
Empire's Land.
Yeah, until the attack on the Hoth base, and we have all that character building, all that stuff with like Chewie and like Han Solo fixing the Millennium Falcon.
No. This one
The-
goes there. That one goes there.
Yeah,
Got
it's literally just straight into the fucking plot, and I'm willing to bet it's because Rian Johnson fucking knew. He was like, I can't do that shit because these characters aren't interesting enough to hold on their own. So you don't get any of that shit. You're thrusted right into it, and it's terrible. It's
Well,
uninteresting
if I
as
do
fuck.
that, then how am I ever going to fit the casino scene in the movie?
Exactly. There's that. Because have you seen the behind-the-scenes interview where Rian Johnson's like, yeah, well, we had so much stuff. I had to cut so much stuff out of it. It's like you still cut all that shit out of it.
And
The
it's
pacing
still,
is
it's still like 2 hours and 40
yeah,
minutes
it's
long.
still we have fucking 4 subplots. Okay, so the casino subplot is fucking stupid. Doesn't make any sense. You don't need it. The fucking
Too bad you couldn't put Poe in that subplot and delete the movie.
yeah, even
that part of
the
movie.
Poe Dameron subplot with the fucking Laura
Like-
Dern Admiral.
Yeah,
that
and, like,
shit-
the mutiny and all that shit. That stuff.
That shit didn't even
fuck.
fucking matter. It's hilarious how he mutinies, and the next scene, fucking Leia wakes up and just is like, no.
Yeah, I
there's
was
no
actually going to
mutiny.
bring up the mutiny. I was going to call it the great 15-minute mutiny of The Last Jedi. Because,
It's
like,
fucking
literally, that's all
terrible.
it takes before it's
and
over.
it had no impact on the story. Nothing.
So,
They
could we
should
have
have
put
they should have strictly kept it as Ray and Luke, that whole subplot, but obviously written Luke in a different way, which I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah. well,
And they should have done. I'm fine with them like running from the First Order. I'm fine with all that, and I actually like the whole like the sort of tension it builds up when they're fleeing and
Well,
they're like attacking their shields and they're low on fuel and all that. But it's
Yeah.
just the stuff surrounding it that they drop the ball on. I
Yeah,
feel.
the stuff surrounding it lowers the tension of that scene. It's ridiculous that they're running away from the Empire, and then for some reason, all these characters just on this thing. It just takes you away from that tension of running away from the Empire
yeah.
because there's just so many fucking side plots going on. And Empire Strikes Back, like it has 2 plot lines. It has an A and a B plot line, but they meet together at the end. The climax of this movie, the stitched on climax where they meet at the fucking salty cum planet. But the real climax of the movie where they fucking have the fight in the throne room and the fucking Holdo maneuver and shit, that is literally like it's all over the fucking place.
I would like.
What,
could we put?
You said it's what?
It's all over the place. Like it's fucking like it's everywhere.
So that I said earlier that this movie really like kind of slumps in the middle and comes back up toward the end. I think most of it after or starting with the Red Room fight, the throne room fight, is it gets better. Because I think the throne room fight specifically is the best scene in the whole movie. Like everything from when Rey and Kylo Ren first get there to when they leave. Except I still don't really like the whole thing. Like your parents were nobody. That whole thing that goes down.
I kind of liked what he did with the parents or nobody thing because well, he was using it as like a way to get Rey to like kind of be
basically
weak to the dark side, basically,
right?
To be
Yeah,
like
to make
fuck
her
all
kind
these
of
people,
give up your hope and just join me because your ultimate goal is pointless right now.
So that was interesting, but
I just let me interject here because that was a big sticking point with the parents thing because I hated it. If you didn't have the parents subplot in these movies, Rey would be a much interesting war character
without parents. But then she would have no motivation to do anything.
The whole reveal, it's setting up for a reveal.
Yeah.
And like, okay, you're doing this beat for beat like the original trilogy. That's fine. What is it going to be? And I was just like, as a curious fan, she related to Palpatine. She related to Kenobi. This shit would just be cool. And then it was like nobody. It was like ding, 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 ding. Like somebody fucks up a song on a piano.
To me, that moment was sort of like a slap in the face to what Abrams did with The Force Awakens, because her entire motivation to leave Jakku was to find her parents, and then you get
No.
moment.
She left because they were trying to get away from the Empire Days. She wanted to go back to Jakku to wait for her
to
parents
wait
to
for
come
her
back.
parents. That's right. But
See,
she wants
that's
to
what I
find
was
her
talking
parents.
about. That was what I was fucking talking about. Is that she stumbles into the plot. She doesn't have any. She doesn't have any impact on starting the plot. She fucking fumbles into it, and she doesn't even want to be in it.
But see, I agree with Lance. Is like what they should. Rian Johnson should have never done that. It should have just been.
And
like,
JJ should never have done this too.
Going
back to all this.
To me, I like the parent subplot. If it would have been done right, like I think if they would have just left it, if anything, like Kylo Ren could have been like, I lied, I don't know who your parents are or whatever. That to me would have been a little bit better instead of just being like, your parents were nobody, they just sold you for scrap or whatever. And because then in the third movie, we do have to like kind of recover. And if it was just Kylo Ren lies, says, I didn't really know who they were. It was basically a trick to get her there.
But then we would feel cheated as an audience. And then in the third
movie, we actually find out who her parents were. Then I think it would have been a better payoff. But I think Rian Johnson killed a lot of the momentum that storyline even had. And of course, Abrams could have handled it better. Maybe instead of her being like, I want to go back to Jakku and wait, she should have been like, I've waited all this time, I'm leaving because I need to find out where they are or if they're still alive.
Yeah, maybe that would probably mix it up, make it a little bit more interesting. But
I see both sides. I think that it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. This falls on JJ. He shouldn't have had this. I'm more interested. I'd be more interested, to be honest with you, to see Finn's backstory as a child, being either abducted or raised as just a stormtrooper.
He literally would have been like a way the fuck better main character. The problem is that they needed a character to be the fucking Luke stand-in, and they just did it terribly. They fucking wrote a terrible, boring
Daisy. They made Luke Skywalker into a woman.
Yeah, they made a boring rehashed backstory.
Yeah, and she wasn't different. And I understand both you guys. I remember like feeling the same way with like Cody did. Like, how could you do this story plot?
You know what would have been dumber than having her just be like, "Where's my parents?" Having her have her have amnesia. Have her wake up with amnesia at the beginning of the fucking movie. Like, that's how you make it more generic.
And she like wakes up and they're like, "What happened?" It's like, I don't know. I was playing a really fun game, and she goes Yahtzee and hits her head on something, knocks herself out again.
She has amnesia again.
Isn't that from like Scary Movie or something?
Scary Movie 3 it is. Because it's so relatable to me too. But yeah, I just think that the parent subplot, now watching this movie for the third time, I hated it then. Like, I hated the reveal, but seeing how it led to nothing and then they had to refix it in episode 9, it would have been better if Rey didn't have the subplot, because you would have already established, because Rian Johnson's going in this movie like anybody can be a Jedi from any walk. That's what the kids, like that one kid who has the Force powers at the end of the movie. He's trying to say anybody. It doesn't have to just be the Skywalkers. Anybody can be a Jedi, which we already knew that watching the prequels.
We already know that because there used to be a whole order of them. They weren't just Skywalkers.
I know, but that would have been better if JJ had not put that story element in, because Rey would have truly been nobody, but you could have been like, okay, starting fresh. Yeah, but now it's okay, she's coming from a desert planet.
I can see that plot too. But to me, and I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the next movie because we're gonna have a whole episode about it. But to me, finding out who her parents were, it makes somewhat more sense as to why she is so strong with the Force. Yeah. As opposed to her just being some random person. Because, in the prequels, Anakin was explained as being strong with the Force because he was like immaculate conception or whatever.
He had the midichlorians, bro.
Yeah, the midichlorians concentrated so much that it impregnated Smee. I mean,
they dumped a hot load in his mom. There's a little fucking microscopic.
I mean, how do you present a character who's supposed to be able to like stand toe to toe with someone from the Skywalker line? Then to make her be a descendant of someone who is a very powerful, Sith or whatever.
I have no problem with her like the OP, like she's so overpowered. Or
I do have a problem with it because it makes her uninteresting.
I know, but let me get my part out. I'll let you get in there. Hold on. I'm just saying, I have no problem with her being overpowerful. And I remember at the time watching these movies, she has to be connected because we always heard the Skywalker line was the most powerful line of Jedi's connected to the Force.
Oh,
And, like,
you
that'd be-
Skywalker.
Oh, he's
And
so
I was thinking,
Skywalker.
like, and it's just so stupid going into this movie. It's like, is she like Leia and Han's daughter? Like, it's going back to like the whole twin brother and sister bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's just me, like, being a stupid fan and I having more of a vision for it. I think that Rian Johnson's vision for her, like, being the quote unquote the trash, the nobody coming from nowhere, being so powerful in the Force, would have worked if there never was a parent storyline setting up expectations for the family. If she was just powerful and be like, I don't know what's going on with me, I have to train in the first movie, and then she finds Luke going into this movie, you can have all that stuff happen, and then she can find out some of her backstory, and then that's when the audience is like, oh, that's really cool. She would be more relatable. Now she's just this, like, she's a female version of Luke that's orphaned. Instead of looking for just her father, she's looking for both her parents. And it sets you up with the expectation, hey, there's going to be setting up for a reveal, just like in the first original trilogy, not the first trilogy, the prequels, but I mean the original trilogy. It's like, hey, this is setting up for expectations, so it let everybody down. But then you have a huge section of the audience was like, I really like that. It's like, hey, you can just be anybody. I'm like, okay, that excuse to have, well, you can just be a nobody and be a Jedi. That's fine, but don't sit there and make it like some big fucking hanging on point. Like, this is why this movie's so fucking great, because it's a stupid fucking point.
Just because
there was Jedi's galore in episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I definitely get your point. It's like, just because she comes from nobody doesn't make her interesting.
No,
Yeah.
a better written script, and I've come around on this over the years, a better written character makes her more interesting.
Exactly.
And going back, I'm going to shit on JJ here. The reason why Luke Skywalker wasn't in Episode 7 until the very end was because he said, well, as soon as the audience sees Luke, no one's going to care about Rey. So that's why we put him at the end. Now, how about this? If you fucking write a good character for Rey, everybody's going to fucking love her and want Luke to train her. So it's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's a tag team, baby.
Yeah, it's
And
that guy he's training.
Speaking of that decision with Luke, I mean, I guess that's a good segue into Luke Skywalker in this movie because
Let me do one quick point. Like, everybody, this plot isn't going to be like covered like beat for beat. We're just going to get all of our grievances out, and you can just look it up on Wikipedia as we talk. It's fine. Yeah. But Cody, go ahead with Luke.
You've seen the movie if you're listening to this, or whatever.
Well, my girlfriend is not going to watch this movie.
So if JJ would have actually done something with Luke in The Force Awakens, it could have actually saved him from being the character that he is in this movie. Because then there would have been a foundation.
They should have killed him in the
on.
first movie. I'm just being like, they should. I mean, I understand them killing Han. That's Harrison Ford. Like I said, like we had talked about in the Episode 7 episode. Like was it 3 episodes ago now?
I mean, Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off in Empire Strikes
Like,
Back.
please,
so.
just said that.
He's like, I'm fucking done with this stuff. Tell him I'm eating. Oh, they say you Blade Runner.
Oh, you say you tired of
Gotta
Star
go
Wars.
to the temple and get some treasure.
You
for
say you have
Callista.
You say you have tiny penis. Tell him I don't.
But
That's all from later.
instead, because JJ left it like that, it left it so open ended for Rian Johnson to come in and do whatever he wanted with Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill's gone on record and said he hated the way that Luke was portrayed in this film. He said that's not the Luke that he was back in the original trilogy, and so instead we get this Luke that, watching it today, the first half of this movie especially, I absolutely hate Luke Skywalker in this movie.
He doesn't even feel like Luke Skywalker.
Right, he just feels like some crazy old man that she came
He's just
across.
Mark Hamill. He's just mad Mark Hamill.
A real quick question. Do you guys feel like Luke is extremely inconsistent as a character in this movie? He's dark and he's brooding, but then he'll sit there and say, nobody's from nowhere. She goes to Jakku, goes, that's pretty much nowhere.
Yeah,
like he'll sit there, and it's like Disney humor
and
sprinkled
then he'll
within Luke.
crack jokes. Yeah, I mean,
It's weird.
yeah.
I mean, I did laugh when he's like, reach out, and he does that little film.
Yeah, I did. That
You
was
feel it?
very funny.
You feel it? And he just slaps her in the hand. I mean, I laughed at it. I understand how
That's-
it could infuriate a Star Wars
That's
fan.
another good point to make about the movie is that the jokes are just either a lot
They're
of
not
them,
as egregious as Episode 7, though.
they fall flat in this movie really badly, and some
I
of them
don't
are just
know.
ridiculous.
I don't mind
Yeah.
the Jakku joke. If you just look at them on their own, I don't mind the Jakku joke.
Yeah, that one's
I-
not bad, but
I
like the
do-
general.
I do
The General Hux Yo Mama shit was fucking.
Oh yeah,
stupid.
that stuff was kind of dumb.
I
but,
still laughed. I'm sorry,
but,
Mama.
I'm sorry. I'm like, when it happened, I
Your
forgot
mama's
it was
so
happening.
fat when she said around the house, she said around the house. He's like, turn this shit off. It's making me so
They
fat.
say you real fat, mama.
Tell my beauty.
yeah, and like Lance, I laughed out loud with the whole like you feel it, and like smacks her. That was pretty funny. But I do
puts his
agree
dick
that
in her
he is
hands.
very.
Oh God. Episode 8, the last orgasm.
You feel it? It's getting bigger and harder.
Luke Skywalker says, "I won't be the Last Jedi" because he actually impregnated her.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, but I do agree that he feels very inconsistent. It should have just been like the dark brooding character if that's what he really wanted to do with it, and then slowly transitioned into the whole like I need to do something to help. But instead, he doesn't even really feel dark and brooding in the beginning. He feels like he's just insane.
It feels like he's throwing a bitch fit.
Yeah, and it's like, for one, why would Luke Skywalker leave pieces of a map to find him? It's like, in case you ever need to find me, here's these
If he
pieces of
didn't
the
want to
map.
be found. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I never wanted to leave this, I never wanted to be found. It's like, that's not what we were told in the last movie. And then it's like, let me go drink this milk and spill it all over my beard like a little baby and give like this creepy stare.
Let's be completely honest. It's not hard to get like liquid in your beard when you're drinking. Yeah. I have that problem all the time.
And also,
it's hard
I kind of feel like Mark Hamill wasn't really doing Luke Skywalker. I feel like he was kind of like doing Luke Skywalker, who's starting to turn into the Joker.
Yeah.
He said that. He said when he like doing this stuff like this wasn't his Luke.
Yeah,
that's how he felt. That's how he approached it. But the thing is, and when it comes to this movie, and we'll cover it at the end with like the fandom and like the people that love this movie. Okay, there's general fans of Star Wars or general fans of movies that love this movie. And the fact that it made a lot of Star Wars fans angry, they find delight in that. Because critics hate fandoms. When it says it has fan service in their review, that's looked down upon. Like, that's a bad thing. Look,
yeah.
you're a movie 8 at this point, really movie like 9 because they had already done Rogue One in a Star Wars franchise. You're going to have heavy fan service because you're calling back to the people that come to see these movies. And I understand, like, don't beat your head over it with it. These are the same people that are upset, like, Boba Fett's getting a series. Like, just when Star Wars is becoming a bigger universe, it gets smaller again because you bring back an old character.
Just
an
when
old
my
character
penis
that has
was
a fan
looking
base,
big.
and they hate that.
Just
yeah,
when my
an
penis
old
was
character
looking
that
big.
fans have literally wanted more
small.
from for decades.
And they're like, oh, yeah, this character's really stupid. I'm like, you know what? Fuck off. But, like, the Luke, everybody getting upset with that. Like, Mark Hamill was saying this stuff. He wasn't saying it to, like, gain favor online with people and shit like that. He actually had to change his tone because I'm sure Disney had to talk
Yeah,
with
they
him.
sent the mouse after him. Hey, Mark,
he's-
you can't be saying that. If you do it again, I'm going to shove a lightsaber up your
But
ass.
he was just being honest. It's like, look, this wasn't my Luke Skywalker, and it's fine. But, again, going to this, it's like, I think what fuels a lot of people, not saying like people that genuinely like this movie, but people that like this movie but also just hate like fandoms or hate fans. Like, and this is a thing. Like, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it from my experience. Like, I'm going to football. There's a fan base I don't like the Titans. It makes me happy to see something bad to the Titans franchise.
it
Like,
makes
we
me
signed a
happy.
shitty player. Like, I love this.
It makes me happy to see them all
And
die.
there has to be, if people were completely honest with themselves, there has to be a little bit of that in everybody
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, especially if your job is a quote-unquote professional reviewer, as useless as you fucking are, because you're like, well, this movie's really stupid, you shouldn't watch it. Like, okay, but they were happy with this movie, and they were making fun of fans, saying, oh, yeah, you just don't like this movie because there's an Asian character in it, and Rian Johnson did something different. He did something different that wasn't fucking that smart.
It wasn't
Like, it was very
interesting.
elementary. It's like, oh, just be very obvious about these left turns we're taking. Like he's a NASCAR driver.
Let's just do.
He's going to do a swerve, bro. He's like Vince Russo in wrestling. Going back to wrestling, baby.
And I mean, we've already kind of talked about how like
But-
a lot of the subplots in this movie were completely unnecessary, but the writing
and the thing
of
is,
Luke
like, if,
especially is
let me
probably
say
the
this:
most.
if you put Poe in the casino, and then put Finn and Rose in the mutiny thing, and just delete the casino part, I would probably like the movie a lot.
Well, it's like I said earlier. I mean, to me, the best solution to that whole thing is leave the casino thing out, give Rose more of a backstory saying that she can get them in, and maybe she can't get them in as easily as like the master thief or whatever, but you know, she can still get them in there, and then, you know, if you still need them to be caught, they can be caught. You know, it's a high-tech spaceship. It's not like, you know, it's impossible to figure out if someone's intruded on your ship, but I mean, to me, the most egregious thing about the movie is Luke's writing, and it's not really
in the Rey and Kylo relationship.
Yeah,
the Rey Kylo thing.
You think she'd be upset that she should be upset that Han Solo's dead?
She was upset at the beginning,
but she's like, "Let's hold hands."
That's really to be fair. Them talking was about one of the only things that kind of interest me. I did think that the stupid like fucking Skype Force bullshit was stupid.
What do you think about his nipples?
But I did, his nipple, his fucking weird body. But I did think them talking
very sweaty
and having his weird face.
Yeah, everything about
Cody, you
his
look
voice.
like him.
I don't look like him.
Now Cody does not look like him. Adam, what's his name? Adam Driver.
Yeah.
He has a face like he got like hit like with like two shovels.
Cody has wonderful hair like Adam Driver does.
His face looks like those weird, the faces of those weird horse things on the Casino Planet.
Yeah, those fucking things are gross. But
hey, that's a Yoda and a camel and a horse mixed together.
Yeah, they have like weird human faces. It's fucking nasty.
They have human teeth. That's what bothered me about it.
Yeah, that was gross too. What was I saying? I fucking forgot.
Adam Driver. He doesn't look like Cody.
No, when they were talking through their like weird.
That was like 3 points ago.
Where they're force Skype. They were force Skyping. I thought that the conflict and kind of them interacting was interesting, but that's about it, really. That's one of the things I kind of liked about the movie was that they had them.
I think the special effects in this movie is really good too. Like Snoke, the way he looks, he doesn't look like a shitty CGI character. He looks fucking real, and that's Andy Serkis in a fucking CGI suit.
It's Andy.
Yeah, and then I love like it's so well done. When you know they're in the throne room and Kylo cuts him in half, you know, and how his body just kind of like falls to pieces onto the floor. Like
1,000 pieces.
This is my last resort.
Only in dreams.
Oh,
cut my life into pieces.
This is my plastic fork.
These are my denim shorts.
Salt and pepper, no seasoning.
But I mean, like, I agree. The special effects were really good.
Yeah, it got that Disney money.
Yeah.
They want that Chinese money.
I did think that there was more CG in this movie than there was in The Force Awakens, which is slightly disappointing.
Yeah. How weird did Yoda look?
Well, I mean, they used a puppet, so he does stand out a lot.
They used a puppet, which is fine. I'm not saying that, but the way the puppet looked...
The puppet was kind of shit.
Yeah, that part wasn't as good as the puppet they used in the original thing. This looks like something like
Empire Strikes
Ninja Turtles
Back.
3.
Yeah, the Empire Strikes Back puppet looks
Cody's
like
fucking
better.
selection, by the way. Ninja Turtles 3 Lost in Time.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Like a Jim Henson character. Well, like on the early days of like the Muppets or something.
Yeah, he kind of did look like a Muppet.
Well, Jim Henson made the Ninja Turtles too, but not the Ninja Turtles 3.
His voice was kind of weird too. There was something off about his voice.
But it's just Frank's old. Frank Oz is really old.
My penis is hard.
And how weird would it be that Yoda would be cool with blowing up the books?
Yeah.
Well, he's teaching Luke a lesson. We also, I think it makes sense to me because he does seem kind of like kooky and
yeah, I guess you're right.
Empire.
Yoda has always been kind of the weird. They played him too straight in the original trilogy, or not the original trilogy. I mean the fucking
prequel trilogy.
Prequels, yeah. They tried to make him like too fucking not kooky.
No, but remember, he's not kooky after he quits acting up with Luke in Empire Strikes Back. Like, he's serious at that point. He's training him.
Yeah, but
when
he's
he
still
needs
like
to be serious. He's serious, but he's still like kind of like his training methods are like very Mr. Miyagi. Even though I know Mr. Miyagi came later, but it's very much like this task that doesn't really seem like it should help is going to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Mean Gene.
He's an oddball. Like his character is literally, you're not supposed to expect him to be like a Jedi master, but when you meet him in Empire Strikes Back, you're like, there's no way that little weird guy is a fucking.
We have exclusive news today. Disney is doing a Yoda Disney Plus series. No, I'm kidding.
Yoda, these nuts, bitch. Shit.
But going back to Luke, just the inconsistency. Okay, you want to hide from the universe. I don't think Luke would hide. he would still be like, I think there was a lot of Star Wars fans, like, criticism, like, his character would be, like, out front still trying to fight. Like, he wouldn't give up because of what he was. And I understand, like, okay, it's 30 years later, he's destroyed because he thought he was the legend and he could do no wrong, and then ends up, getting his trainees killed because, Kylo. I was thinking about this.
He also blames
Kylo
himself.
Ren. Do you think his regular name was Hello Ben? Like Kylo Ren, Hello Ben, because it rhymes.
I think
y'all can fuck off.
Luke admits that he blames himself for Kylo Ren becoming Kylo Ren.
Hello Ben becoming Kylo Ren. Come on.
Ben Skywalker. Did we talk? We talked about the last one. Why it's stupid that he's named Ben.
Yeah, like why would Han and Leia
Name their
use the
son
name Ben?
Well, yeah, because
we
they
love that weird guy.
I mean, Leia knew something about Obi-Wan Kenobi, but
Well, she called him
didn't-
Obi-Wan, and then when
Yeah.
Luke, and that's the thing is inconsistent in Episode 4. He goes, "I'm with Ben Kenobi." She goes, "Ben Kenobi?" She's like, "Who the fuck is Ben Kenobi?"
Did I get Obi-Wan's brother or something? Yeah, I was
Fuck,
just
you
selling
don't have
insurance.
Obi-Wan, but you got Ben.
I was just selling insurance to these
Obi-Wan.
local Jawas, and Luke came up here, and he said he needed my help, so I
And my
jumped
brother
on
was
board, and
dead,
here we
so,
are.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm his nephew. Yeah, he's been gone for a while, so I heard
No,
you needed a
Ben
guy.
Kenobi, but you're like, why would they call him Ben?
I don't
That's
know.
Like Luke's like, hey, name him Ben.
Strike me down, and I'll always be with you.
I don't know much about that Force stuff, but I can fix your VCR.
I think.
So if you need help with that, I can help you with that. But
Oh, that's priceless. Oh man, I'm never gonna remember this at this episode, but that's priceless. Just go ahead and say that. It's a moment in time, baby. I think that they named him Ben because it's an easy name to say.
Ben.
It's a one syllable Ben. It's not Jason, which is Jason Solo in the expanded universe, or Anakin, which is 3 syllables. It's Ben. He can say it it's easy. It's an easy name to say.
It just seems like for Star Wars. I mean, Luke is kind of a basic name too, though.
I've never known anybody named Luke. I mean, Cold Hand Luke.
I have an older brother named Luke.
A bunch of people in my school were named Luke.
Wait, you have a brother?
Yeah, it just seems weird. I guess it's, I don't know. I guess I'm overthinking it because he does have an uncle Owen. Luke does.
Yeah.
And
shout out.
but you do have these weird ass names like Anakin and Shmi and Obi-Wan. And it's like Qui-Gon, but then you have Ben and Luke and Owen.
What's
Bail
Palpatine's? What's Palpatine's name? Isn't
Oh,
it something?
God. Yeah.
It's Sheev. It's Sheev. That's his first
Yeah,
name.
Sheev Palpatine.
Wow.
You know what's weird? In Return of the Jedi, the book, it was based off the screenplay. Owen Lars.
Me?
What?
Yeah, me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, so Uncle Owen over here. Why have we never made this joke?
Because I never pushed for it because I've heard it too many times.
Oh, sorry, Uncle Owen. Where's Aunt Beru? Hey, we call your girlfriend Aunt Beru. Have I made this joke before?
Yes, you've literally made this joke before.
I don't remember.
I think you've done it on the podcast.
I don't think I've done it. I think I've done it at the store. I'm gonna go record hey Aunt Beru, hey Aunt Beru. Anyway, Owen is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi's brother. That was gonna be the original setup in the non-canon universe. Now, Owen and Obi-Wan Kenobi were actually brothers, and
He's my brother.
Owen. He says my brother Owen raised you, but they made it into where he's Anakin's stepbrother and all that stuff now. But
Fuck,
that's just a little weird side thing.
I'm stepbrother to a fucking the worst person in the
Because
galaxy.
Shmi goes and marries someone. Doesn't
Craig
the guy
Lars.
buy her from
Annie.
what's his name?
Annie.
What does Shmi die in the second movie? I forget.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Anakin
She
goes
gets
and
raped by
slaughters
Tusken
a bunch of
Raiders.
people.
Yeah, she does. You're right.
I think it's him that she gets raped by us Tusken Raiders.
I killed all of them. I slaughtered them like
I
animals.
slaughtered them.
She's like, it's okay. I'll
God,
still
why?
Oh yeah, she goes. It's okay. I still love you.
I'll still fuck you. Even though you
I just-
committed genocide. On the
I can't believe it. I
She goes,
slaughtered
wait till
all
I
of
actually
them.
do it against our people.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah,
When
he
she
freaks out that he slaughtered all these shitty Raiders or whatever, but then
then
he
he
slaughters a bunch
Oakland
of
Raiders.
children.
He doesn't shed a tear. He's just like,
Yeah, he's just like, fuck them kids.
he's like, I'm getting tired of these fucking stupid idiots getting all Yoda's attention and shit.
You know, it's like the scene where he walks in and like the little kid standing there and his lightsaber and Anakin's lightsaber comes out, and then
Yeah.
it's just like a picture of that Michael Jordan meme, you know, the fuck them kids meme.
Fuck them kids. Hopefully he really doesn't fuck those kids.
Oh my god.
God.
This episode's gotten dark. Okay, let's get back to Luke real quick. Not Luke, but
Yeah, we were
very
still talking about
inconsistent.
Lucas. Yeah,
yeah, Lucas. You mean Luke?
George Lucas Skywalker.
Yeah. I didn't want to have an episode. I mean, I wanted to have an episode where I didn't mention Lucas, but you know, I can't get away from his neck roll.
Yeah, we already mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I just sit there
me and
thinking,
Cody
like,
did.
motherfucker's always going to be in our episode. I'm just going to make sure I mention George Lucas every episode, but we do.
So just mention it the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, so Sam Raimi filmed Evil Dead in this location, and George Lucas is somehow related to this.
He probably is. It probably met like Sam Raimi like on the side and was like, "This is our look."
I had an idea for Spider-Man. Here's a script. Oh, thanks, George. Hopefully you use it. I tried to get the gig myself, but I got busy with episode 2. If you would, just put a good word in for me.
With Disney.
But yeah, so the Rey thing, okay, the nuns, the lizard nuns on this planet are very, it's just such Disney humor, the whole thing.
Porgs are bad. The porgs
And-
are stupid.
Oh,
You know,
so-
I think, okay, real quick, wouldn't you think that when going to the beginning of the movie, when Rey hands Luke the lightsaber that he lost when he got his hand cut off in Empire Strikes Back,
How did
that
she
it's-
get it anyway?
she got it from the frog lady in the first movie.
And then she never explains how she got it.
Yeah,
She's like, I
it's-
was just looking around on Bespin.
You know, and why wouldn't Luke be like, "How the fuck did you get this?"
He's like, did you get my hand? There should have been a hand with this
Yeah,
too. Did
that
you
was
get
that
that?
meme that we talked about. It's like,
Yeah.
There's a hand. I always read it like, "There's a hand. Did you find a hand?
Did you find a hand with it?
I'm
too?
like, wouldn't he just be like, "How the fuck did you find this?"
Yeah, because last he knew that lightsaber.
He lost it in the fucking Cloud City,
Yeah,
like over 30 years ago. This wasn't even Return of the Jedi.
Cloud
Yeah.
City is like, it's not even like a terrestrial planet. It's like a fucking gas giant. Like, how the fuck? Like, it's gone.
yeah, really.
It's
But
really
you,
weird.
Owen, you brought up the Porgs. So something that I remember reading about this movie is the Porgs weren't necessarily a planned thing, but the island they were filming on had so many birds that they had to come up with something because it would have taken way too much effort to like completely like just erase the birds from the footage.
Yeah.
And so they came up with the Porgs as a way to like cover up the birds, because obviously on an alien planet you can't just have like basic ass seagulls flying around.
Yeah.
So
I ain't gonna lie to you. I like the porgs. I mean,
Have you ever been to?
I'd actually like them too. I think I think the Porgs would have been a good way to add some levity to the film that still felt like Star Wars as opposed to some of like
Look.
the Disney style humor.
If I want to see porgs, I'll go to Porg Hub. Okay.
Oh God. Ba-dum-bum.
hey, real quick, Cody, did you watch the video I sent you, the Spider-Man 3, but everybody's horny?
Yeah.
You know, when he gets in the movie, he goes, "I'm so nervous," and he hears the Pornhub fucking
Pornhub music.
music. I love Bully McGuire. Did you see the one I sent you about the Star Wars Episode 1 when he's like fighting? He's actually Darth Maul.
Why do you guys like the porgs?
Because they're cute.
Yeah, I think they're adorable and they're funny. You know?
I'm a
I don't
sucker
think-
for like
I don't think.
non-realistic.
Did you like
animals.
the Ewoks?
I like the Porgs more than the Ewoks, to be honest.
They're literally.
I like the
Okay,
main Ewok.
okay, yeah, I'll grant you that is a false equivalency because the Porgs did not fucking like single-handedly defeat the Empire. So
Well, and like the Porgs have some good moments. There's that where they're going into battle when they're on I can't remember what the planet's called with all the salt, and like
Yeah, it's
Chewie's,
called Salt Cum
Chewie's flying
Planet.
the Falcon, and he's just like yelling, and then there's that Porg on like the dashboard that's also yelling. Like
Yeah.
I got a big smile out of that. Or like when Chewie's eating one of them that he just cooked, and they're all.
Yeah, I'm
They're all
glad you reminded me of that scene. Okay, Luke sneaks up onto the Millennium Falcon to have his little memory trip, And he
Yeah.
turns on the cockpit and it makes the loudest fucking noise. How did Chewie not rush up into the ship going, you know, whatever?
Yeah.
We don't. Do we ever really see in the movie Luke and Chewie interact? Like,
Yeah.
That's when Chewie breaks down the door because he won't answer the door for Rey, and Chewie's like, "Rrr!" He goes, "Chewie, where's Han?" And like I said, going back to, I wish like in the first movie that we had one big scene with all the old people together, including Lando, and Lando was forgotten until the Solo movie. That's why they put him in Episode 9, because he was the best part of the Solo movie. I wish that they would have just like had the scene in the beginning of Episode 7. Then you could have killed off a character or two and then give motivation to the new characters, and we would have cared about the new characters more. Like, it's like, okay, it's the old people handing the baton off to the new characters instead of having all the new characters except for Finn be like rehashes of old characters anyway. Like, Poe is Wedge, Luke is Rey, and then Finn's like his own thing. You know, he's not a clone. He's a stormtrooper.
As much shit as we give Disney for like how Star Wars has turned out, or at least, you know, that trilogy, because I mean, you and me, Owen or Lance, agree that like Rogue One is really good, and I think we both like Solo, and obviously The Mandalorian is great.
But there's no pressure. There's no pressure on those franchises,
Right.
those spinoffs, because it's like, okay, these are one-offs. These are going to be telling a story. Whereas
I
this is
understand
like,
that.
what's going to happen to the main characters, motherfuckers? Don't get it wrong.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that, you know, you're talking about like a good way to hand off those characters, and I think that Disney and Marvel are doing a good job of that right now with some of their other characters, because we know like Captain America's gone, and now Sam Wilson is the new Captain America, and the way that they handled it all was really well done. And you know, there's other characters that are sort of like taking over the mantle, like Black Widow. There's basically a new Black Widow established, and it's well done in that as well. So it's not like that company doesn't know how to do it. It's just
Kathleen Kennedy doesn't know what they're doing, because I don't think that company is like overseeing everything. They're like, okay, this is what you do. They put people in charge of their departments.
I don't even think Kathleen Kennedy has. Well, does she have that much like creative control?
she's
the
basically
CEO.
She's the Kevin Feige of that sector, isn't she?
They put her. She was in charge when fucking. We've talked about this before. That fucking Lucas put her in charge.
Yeah, Lucas put her in charge,
and they kept her in charge. So she's the one that hired the directors and said, "Okay, everybody have free reign over your 3 movies. This is going to be a trilogy." That doesn't fucking work.
Trilogy.
Especially with something that, you know, you have to have a concise story, and people wanted to get the bad taste out of their mouths from the fucking prequels, because holy shit, those movies are too fucking boring.
Except
20 minutes of each one of those prequels are like the best parts of the movie.
Dello Feligits. I like the part where Jar Jar says Dello Feligits.
Like Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, Jango Fett, and the Darth Vader stuff.
Natalie Portman's.
It's over, Anakin.
And
I have the
Natalie
high
Portman,
ground.
She looks ready to go in Episode 3.
Natalie Hirschlag.
And Cody knows what I'm talking about, because that's the Limp Bizkit song, Ready to Go.
What about C-3PO?
He looks ready to go every movie.
Yeah, he's got a golden ass.
I'm like, oh
Really
shit, baby.
got the
I can't be part of this mutiny, but I will whip my robotic penis out.
Okay, let's talk about the thing that I hated the first night I watched this movie, and I hated it Wednesday when I watched this
Last
movie.
night.
Space Leia. This movie does everything it can, and that's what I do like. One of the rare things I like about the sequel trilogy is they try to put it at a grounds level, so you see actually the effect of it. Like, a stormtrooper dies in Episode 7 and wipes the blood on Finn's helmet. Like, you never saw that before. They just fall down going, "Oh!" The Wilhelm. Yeah, the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
And, you know, episode, like, it's like you don't see, like, the results of what's happening. Like, all these Ewoks kill the stormtroopers, but you just see their empty helmets. You don't see dead bodies.
You don't see the part when the Ewoks cut them up into pieces and take them back for dinner.
Yeah, I know. That's
Skin them alive.
Yeah, that type of thing you got to deal with. Whereas this movie, like these movies, is like, okay, you see this. You see Rose's sister get killed, and it's like she's trying to blow up with the bombers. She's trying to like drop all the bombs from her bomber ship onto the Death Knot.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing's
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought, okay. See, it's more of a ground level, but then you sit there and have something where the cockpit of the spaceship that Leia's on is blown up, and she gets sucked into space.
She gets sucked.
You're supposed to be like instantly you're
See,
dead.
Here's a funny thing about that. So like,
You actually like that scene?
no, I don't like that.
Oh, I
scene.
thought you were like, "This is
It's
the funny
dumb.
part."
No, so you know how in the bomber sequence, like the bottom of the ship is open for the bombs to fall out.
Mhm.
Okay, so that would be like there's like an open vacuum there. So that's exposed to space, and she's okay, and the bomber like fucking
Yeah,
thing.
that's the inconsistency.
But then like when Leia looks like an open space, she's gonna get sucked and cold and shit.
And then she's
Yeah.
just like, do do do. Everybody, there's a meme where they have music playing when she flies through the air like Superman.
Yeah.
And it's like, how in the fuck did she get uncrystallized to be still be
Yeah.
alive? Like,
That-
you would
that-
instantly be dead.
The
even if
entire
you have
scene
powers.
is stupid because it makes. I mean, it does have a reason, but she didn't have to do that. All that had to happen was just like she gets fucking like knocked out by the blast.
And we know that at
Nobody
the top,
seems to be amazed that she floated through space when they're like, General Leia.
Oh yeah,
is-
it's like
no one's
what-
like, did anybody else fucking see that?
the force has somehow brought her back to life.
Oh, Maxie
For one.
Big the Force. That
And
smells stink of it.
I'm with you, Lance. Like, it's something I really hated the first time I saw this, and I still hate it now. It doesn't make any sense.
I
And
think
to
Owen's always
me,
hated it too.
I
Yeah,
think
I
to
mean, it's
me,
stupid.
We're just going to omit Cody from it. It's like, no, not omit Cody. I mean Owen. Like, sorry, Owen. you're
Yeah.
not part of this.
to me, because Carrie Fisher passed away before this movie came out, and I think it would have been a good way for them to go back and be like, okay, well, we actually need to kill off Leia here, and then maybe don't kill off Luke and carry him into the next one instead. But
Yeah, I just think it's unfortunate because as much as I hate Luke being dead at the end of this movie, spoiler alert, I hate, and I thought it's like, well, Leia just, Carrie Fisher passed away in real life. Why don't they just kill Leia off? I think that the movie was already too far in production. They couldn't fix that. And they had to find a way to respectfully write her off at episode 9.
Yeah, they already had scenes for her recorded in episode 9.
No, they
didn't.
didn't. The scenes they had for episode 9 was like scenes they shot in episode 7 that they didn't use, and they just shot around them with the actors doing different stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of those things that they did. I understand why, they want, because they had stuff. There was going to be scenes in episode 9 with Leia and Rose. And that's why people are upset with episode 9, because Rose wasn't included that much. First off, you have to fucking write off an entire trilogy, and that's probably one too many characters to introduce to actually people fucking care about. But the stuff that they had with Rose was playing with Leia. And obviously Carrie's gone. So it's like, they had to use the scenes they had, which wasn't much, and they went with it. And it's just unfortunate that Carrie did pass away, because they were going to have big plans. Like, I think it was going to tie back to Leia, like having a huge part in episode 9 with helping Rey and her training and all that, where it wasn't with Luke. So it's just one of those things. It's just unfortunate how like life got in the way of what they probably had planned. But then again, the original writer and director of episode 9, he left with conflict with Kathleen Kennedy. Like, I guess they didn't like his story. He wrote multiple drafts. So they took some of his story element, and JJ took over and wrote the last movie, and he was in a no-win situation, because when this movie came out, it split the fan base. You got people that hated this movie and wanted, we'll see what JJ can do to fix it, and the other ones like, well, there's nothing you can do that's going to be better than episode 8. So JJ was in a no-lose situation. I understand why he signed with Warner Brothers to get the fuck away from Disney and Star Wars and just be done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. I remember thinking that too, Cody. Like, man, why didn't they just kill her off and kept Luke? And it's like, all this is unfortunate, because like Han wanted to get killed. Harrison Ford wanted to get killed in episode 7. It's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Pay me $1 million. Do what?
Nah, nothing. It wasn't funny.
No, it was. What? Go ahead and say it.
I was gonna like cut you off when you said Harrison Ford wanted to get killed. And I was gonna be like, in real life.
That's why he crashed that plane.
Yeah, he fucking crashes planes like all the time. Apparently he's like a terrible pilot.
He's
We're
probably always
going
drunk
down,
doing it.
Callista. Hold on.
He said you terrible pilot.
Tell him I'm not.
Tell him I'm good.
So
Yeah, so that's just the whole thing. It's like, I understand that. It's just unfortunate, because I think Leia had a bigger part in episode 9.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that, it fucking, because they were already done shooting when, she passed away. They were in post-production. And she, had that heart attack or whatever it was on the plane, and they had to take her to the hospital. The chick who is at random points in this movie, she's at the beginning, like, oh, they're here.
She's the one. Hair. She's the one with Poe during the mutiny or whatever when Leia comes into the room. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, that's Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah, Billy Lord is her name.
Yeah, okay, I couldn't.
And the only reason I know that is because she's become a regular in American Horror Story.
Yeah, I think she was on that show Scream Queens.
Yeah, she was on Scream Queens.
Yeah, because Jamie Lee Curtis tweeted out a picture. Jamie Lee Curtis and Carrie Fisher are about the same age, and Jamie Lee Curtis came on the same with Halloween, and before that was Carrie Fisher with Star Wars. It was like these, kind of teen, early 20 stars. And I think, they had a little bit of a connection. I could be wrong. I know she has a connection with Billy, and was just like, felt terrible. I thought that was kind of cool, but we talked, bringing up space
how Leia,
how stupid was like,
how we brought up how Leia should have died. So let's talk about Luke Skywalker's death.
Okay, this is where my opinion has changed from initially watching it, but I'll let you guys
phases out for some reason or something.
Yeah, he just disappears.
He exerts too much energy.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's the impression I got, is the force projection basically took too much out of him, so he died.
He's like,
I don't have a problem with it disappearing. It's not like that's not an established
I have a problem
thing.
Because he has a metal hand that shouldn't have disappeared.
Well, yeah,
his clothes shouldn't have disappeared. He should have been like
clothes, I don't think his clothes did disappear.
Slumped to the ground like
no, his robe did. His clothes, he went with him.
Yeah, well, to me, I don't have a problem with it. I actually
don't. Little booty.
I don't mind the way that he died. I think the fight with Kylo Ren leading up to it was pretty cool. To me, that's like the one moment in the movie that is like, this feels like Luke Skywalker. But I remember a lot of people having problems with him fading out or whatever. But it's like when Obi-Wan Kenobi's killed by Darth Vader, he disappears too.
Yeah,
so
it's just supposed to fit that theme of like the Jedi Masters like fading
I think
out, like Yoda does it too.
The thing I hated with it was, at the time, it felt cheap. Like he didn't actually die from Kylo Ren's thing. But now watching it now, it's like, okay, Kylo Ren doesn't get the satisfaction of killing Luke.
Yeah, because
that would have quelled some of this. It's something he'll never be able to have that he's been chasing, that he's wanting to kill Luke this whole time.
Yeah,
and that Luke took that opportunity away from him, but not even being there. And it's like,
right.
Yeah, I understand that, but
yeah,
I didn't like him.
To me, that's very satisfying.
Yeah,
because Kylo Ren's a whiny little bitch.
He is, and it reminds me of Cody. But I just hate it's that fucking metal arm. I really hate
metal
the fact
arm's a part of him.
Yeah, I know, but it should. That doesn't fade away though. It should just drop.
It's a part of his soul.
It's the arm in Terminator 2 that he throws into the molten pot at the end.
Yeah, that's
just kind of. I was like, that fucking. I would felt a lot better. I know they're not. You don't want to sit there and see Luke disappear and just hear a clink when the fucking hand hits the rock, but yeah. That's what I thought was kind of cool. Luke seeing like the sun rising and it being like the Tatooine thing for a moment, and then he just fades away. It's kind of emotional. I just remember thinking, like, watching it the first time, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Did he die? I was confused by that moment.
Yeah.
Watching
and I know that's one of the things that you and I disagreed with after we had both first seen the movie. Because even at the time, I thought that it was a to me, it's still satisfying, and it's for the reasons that you just said. Like, he basically beat Kylo Ren in more ways than one. I mean, obviously he distracted him. He distracted him long enough for what little bit of the resistance is left to escape. But he also, like you said, I mean, he took any chance away from Kylo Ren of actually killing him, which is what he's wanted to do for a long time. So,
yeah.
Plus the fight scene was just cool. So
I thought it was weird that Luke's force projection. He has, I mean, not that he's trimmed up or anything, but that he has the blue lightsaber that Rey has, his father's lightsaber, whereas it's not the green lightsaber he had in Return of the Jedi, and we actually never see that lightsaber again.
Yeah.
Which is actually the one he's supposed to have, is the green one. I think that's the one he still has, is the green one, obviously. But if the force projection is just the blue one, I'm like, that was just kind of strange. I would like to have seen the green one. That's just me being a fan.
Maybe it was a way for... I don't know, maybe just from a filmmaking perspective, it's supposed to be the thing that hints to you like, Luke isn't really here, you know, because obviously Rey
I think
still
in
has the
hindsight,
blue
rewatching
lightsaber.
it, I understand that too. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Owen?
About him having the blue lightsaber.
I know I'm making a big stink about it.
I forgot. I've spaced out. I'm sorry.
What do
No,
you
like,
think
it's
about
the
the
scene
whole
where-
Luke thing in general?
the force projection. Okay, Luke is more shaggy looking, like
Yeah.
oh Scoob, and that was actually a pretty good impression. I'm like Owen does a great Scooby. I mean, it's Shaggy impersonation. He looks like Shaggy, but he's supposed to have the green lightsaber.
Yeah.
He does the force projection, and he's like all trimmed up like he was when I think he's supposed to do it like that's what Kylo remembers him as.
Yeah.
But he has the blue lightsaber that time.
Yeah.
But it's not referenced at any point.
I didn't actually catch that when I watched it the first time and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. He doesn't because remember when Kylo sees the blue lightsaber, that's mine. He yells at Finn or Rey, he's like, "You're supposed to give that back to me," because he knows that's his grandfather's lightsaber.
Yeah.
But then
That's
again, how would he
mine.
fucking know? Because it's been gone for 30 years and he's only like fucking 18 or
Yeah.
whatever.
That and then,
What?
like Luke,
It's been gone for 30 years, but it also hasn't been in Anakin's possession for even longer than that.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's the whole legend. That's the only thing. It's like that's something that shouldn't make sense to Kylo or have that impact on him. But it should have the impact on the fans. But
And I
it's
mean,
just kind of confusing.
like Luke is like his son. He's like Vader's son. So it's like,
You know, it's funny now that you bring that up. I never thought about it, but Kylo Ren has seen that lightsaber several times already because Rey is using it.
Yeah, and
He never
say
recognizes
anything.
it then, but he recognizes it when Luke is there because
No,
Luke's
he doesn't
holding it.
recognize it. No. I'm saying this is in episode 7. When they
okay.
first unveil it, he sees it. And it's the blue lightsaber. He goes like, "That belongs to me." In this movie,
okay.
he doesn't second guess it, but him and Rey fight over it, and it gets destroyed. Rey fixes it for the episode 9, but when Luke has it, that should be like, well, Luke didn't have a blue lightsaber. Why does he have it? But that's not even something that's even mentioned or even thought of. I would just say that would be like as fanatical as Kylo or Hello Ben, as fanatical as Hello Ben is about the blue lightsaber being Anakin's.
Why did he even use the blue lightsaber to like show up there? Why didn't he just use his green one?
That's what we were just talking about when
Yeah,
you
that
spaced
part
out.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
But you know, and it's like I said, from a filmmaking perspective, I think it's supposed to let the audience know Luke isn't here because not only does Rey have the lightsaber, it's destroyed, and
I think that's
and-
something that you only get when watching it the second or third time.
yeah, I think so because I think the first time you're so just caught up in the moment of Luke and
Yeah.
Kylo Ren like standing off with each other. But I think from like a lore or canon perspective or whatever, it's probably Luke antagonizing Kylo Ren by using it.
Yeah, but Kylo doesn't react to it at all. He just sees Luke and is
Yeah.
blinded by it. So it
Well,
should really.
that's
And
true.
remember, and not the dream, but the flashback sequence where you see both versions of the story where Kylo thinks Luke was going to kill him, and Luke is just like, "No, he's bad. I got to stop him."
Yeah.
And he has the green lightsaber the whole time. Kylo's only seen Luke with the green lightsaber, so Luke being there with the blue lightsaber doesn't make any sense in that force projection.
Right.
Especially Kylo knows that lightsaber just got destroyed, like because it got split in half. So we pretty much covered the whole plot of Star Wars. Episode 8. The
Yeah,
Last
we've been
Jedi.
going on for 2 hours now. So.
Yeah, baby. Well, hour and a half really, but. So. I guess we'll go with closing thoughts and recommendations. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Like from if you're a fan of Star Wars and seen these movies, you'll understand the conversations we have. If you are Sarah and Savannah, possibly Jacob, but probably not because he skipped the other Star Wars episode, you're not just going to give a shit and you're just going to listen to this because you like Lance. I appreciate you. And anybody else that listens to this because it's just me, I appreciate you, which is nobody else but Savannah and Sarah. So,
I do it too.
well, you do not listen to this. I told Cody to put in that fucking rap song from Return of the Jedi that you absolutely hate. Just so I did this for you, and you literally listened to it the day of the recording of the next episode. You're like, "Oh, you did this?"
That's pretty funny. Yeah,
And I don't listen.
that's exactly what I said. Oh, you did this?
You did this?
That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my thoughts because mine have changed so much, and then I'll go with Cody, and then I'll go with Owen since he's the youngest. I'll let him get off any other hatred he may have.
Get off, all right.
Like I said earlier, I went from a visceral hate, unhealthy hate of this movie. Like I would get a bulging vein in my neck. I know. I knew. When I said bulging, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and go as fast as I can to the next word.
You're like, fuck, I messed up.
I
hate this movie, but every time I watch it, I've got a boner.
Every time I watch this, I get a bulging erection, and I can't fucking help myself.
Oh God. I like when I would talk about it, I would get like red in the face. And that's when I was extremely like, oh, my opinion matters on Twitter. And like there's a fucking like probably 18 tweet thread between me and Alex and Cody jumping in there. Like Cody and Alex defending the movie and me taking it in a way that was like, oh man, I gotta defend myself. I'm being belittled, even though I wasn't being belittled. I'm just insecure with my fandom. I would like to have seen Rian Johnson get one of the one-off movies, the spinoffs, or like seeing what he would have done with his own story of Star Wars, like what they're doing with The Mandalorian, like him get his own series. And they were going to give him a trilogy, which did not happen with the backlash. And Cody, I'll never forget this. This was burned in my brain.
I'll never forgive this.
I'll never forgive Cody. No, Cody was like, I said something about Rian Johnson. Like, I don't think this movie is going to be that well received in the future when people look back on it. And then something about him, like I can't remember, like him being a terrible director and Cody going, yeah, he's so terrible that they're giving him his own trilogy. And that shit still hasn't fucking happened, so fuck you, Cody.
Which in hindsight was a stupid statement to make because obviously the movie had just come out. So it's not like... And they had obviously promised him this trilogy before the movie ever came out. So like, obviously on my part that was a stupid statement.
No, but it's also stupid on Disney to plan that far ahead because they're like, you'll have a movie every year of Star Wars for the rest of your life. Remember that?
Yeah, well, they were like, we spent $4 billion. We got to make our money back.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, I went from viscerally hating this movie to feeling, I enjoyed it. When I watched this movie, I turned my brain off because I knew that my previous judgments on this movie would come back. And I was just trying to see if I could enjoy the movie because my original plan was to watch it twice for this podcast. I'm not going to watch a 2.5 hour movie twice.
What about a 3.5 hour movie?
I would watch that 5 times. But I'm not going. How do I put this? I don't have the same hatred, and I don't blame Rian Johnson anymore. Like he obviously made these decisions for this movie. I do believe in my heart that he made this movie to be divisive with the fan base so he could pick his side, which would be the quote-unquote, the good side or the politically left side, which I'm a Democrat. I lean left on everything when it comes to voting. So that's not the thing I have an issue with, but when they make it into a political issue, it's like, oh, the reason why this movie isn't liked is because Russian bots and Republicans who hate minorities being in movies, and this isn't their Star Wars, quote-unquote. That's not it.
I am a Russian bot, though, so.
You are. That's not the point of all this. It's Star Wars. It's supposed to make you feel good watching the movie. You don't feel good watching episodes 1, 2, and 3. This movie is better than the prequel trilogy, all wrapped up together. But this is the worst movie of the sequel trilogy, which is worse than the original trilogy to me. So, I do recommend this movie. I do like this movie. I don't love it. I want to go watch it again and stuff like that. But it's not a chore for me to sit through and be like, God, I hate this fucking movie. It's not watching the first 20 minutes of Venom, which is kind of a drag until you get to the part where Eddie Brock has the symbiote.
Has AIDS.
Yeah. This isn't Superman 3. Send for me, Daddy. But yeah, so I recommend this movie. I actually think that a fan who doesn't like Star Wars would actually probably like the sequel trilogy because it looks nice and pretty. I think the special effects still look better. Like the prequels don't age well. The special effects that were redone in the original trilogy does not age well because it was all computer shit from the 90s and into 2000s. And then the 2000s. Yeah, 2000s. God damn it.
What about Dexter Jettster? Does he look good?
Which one's that?
You don't remember in episode 2 when Obi-Wan goes to the diner?
Oh yeah, he looks terrible.
He's like,
But
that's what George Lucas looks like.
well, he's like, I want him to look like me. But this movie, I do recommend it. And if you shut your brain off, like when I mean shut your brain off, not your judgment of the movie, but if you watch it without the baggage that came with the fandom, if you just watch 7, 8, 9, I think they all actually do kind of fit together in some weird way. Even though this one's the divisive one, I do like the sequel trilogy, and I remember every time I watch these movies, every time I put them on, I have like this great hope that I'm going to love them, and I don't. But it's just almost feeling like a kid again, like, oh man, maybe it'll be different, like because you forget the past experiences of something. But I do recommend it, and I apologize for my toxicity and my fandom when it comes to this movie. Because this movie was a big sticking point with that, and I had a lot of arguments. I probably came across as a dick to Alex and Cody, so I do apologize to you guys. And just when it's just us alone, not in front of all these people listening to us, probably just 10 people. But yeah, so I do recommend it, and I appreciate Owen sitting through this movie. He could have easily just been like, guys, I'm just going to dip out. I'm not going to do the Star Wars shit, which is fine, because Cody was like that with Apocalypse Now. But it's like, I do appreciate you guys watching through this, and I was looking forward to this episode, and like hearing the passion that Cody and Owen had when it came to like their criticisms, and they were smart criticisms. It wasn't just like me going, that movie's stupid, me not like it. And that's what I do, because I mean
all criticisms are valid here, so I mean it's just Star Wars at the end.
I know,
of the
but
day.
I'm just saying, like, you guys are much more articulate, excuse me, with your criticisms than I am. So I do appreciate you guys going through this, and this has been fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Cody with his final thoughts and recommendations.
Yeah, so my opinions of the movie over time have kind of been the opposite of Lance's. I started off the first time
Cody, yin and yang, baby. It's like we fit together great.
I started off like being really high on this movie, and I think the second time I still thought, yeah, overall it's a good movie, and then this time I'm like, yeah, it definitely has some like major issues with it, and we've talked about a lot of those, like pacing and subplots that just really act as filler and could have been handled differently and in a much smarter way. I would recommend this movie still, because I do think that the sequel trilogy is worth watching. To me, for Star Wars, I think every movie's worth watching except for maybe the prequel trilogy. I mean, it's just really hard to recommend those to anybody unless you're willing to sit through like 3.5 hours of trade talk and all that crap. But
you do get hot Natalie Portman though, so
yeah. You get to see lifeless lightsaber fights that have no fucking character.
Yeah, I think on the last episode I kind of talked about how like the original trilogy's like fencing when it comes to the lightsaber battles, and then the prequel trilogy's like ballet, and then this trilogy's more like, knights in armor swinging broadswords at each other.
Cock swords.
And the thing is, that, like, going back to what Owen had said earlier about Rey being like overpowered and everything, she's good at everything. She shouldn't be this good, and they acknowledge it in this movie where he's like, "You got beat by a woman, or not a woman, a girl who's never held
by a woman.
You got beat by a girl who never held a lightsaber before," like telling it to Kylo. And it's like, well, she's just overpowered, dude. I didn't write her.
He's like, yeah, look, it's fucking
plus,
point JJ.
It's like, plus I was like bleeding out, you wrinkly old piece of shit. Why don't you do something about that dent in the face, bastard?
And that thing right there, though, is just kind of like, going back to the writing and stuff like that. Like, that's the problem I have with the lightsaber fight in Episode 7, even though it feels good. But if you look at the context, it shouldn't be. Finn is a stormtrooper who was holding the lightsaber as well too, trying to fight off Rey. He got like 2 strikes in, and then he got his spine shimmied. But like Rey shouldn't have the abilities to fight back with the lightsaber, because Luke, he fucking didn't. He had to be trained with it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
he gets his ass kicked in Empire Strikes Back when he tries to fight Vader.
Yeah, and Vader's doing it with one hand, if you remember. Like half the fight, Vader's just like, fuck you,
but
kid.
To be fair, we've already talked about, Anakin being like this immaculate conception child, like basically the strongest being with the Force, and Kylo Ren is 2 generations removed from that, and during the fight with Rey, he's injured.
Yeah,
so,
he is injured and stuff like that. It's just, it's not so much him. It's just the fact that she can swing the motherfucker like it's no big deal. Where Luke's like, look at this big dildo in Episode 4. Like, ooh.
I mean, Anakin's still like flawed. I mean, he's like a terrible person.
No, we're talking about the lightsaber fight.
You're
not
like
going that deep. Calm
his
down.
technical abilities with lightsabers.
Get off your moral high horse, okay?
but
I'm just kidding.
what about Owen?
No, Cody, you didn't finish though. You do recommend it. Is there anything else you want to say?
I do recommend it. But obviously you need to watch it after The Force Awakens, which I think The Force Awakens is a better movie than this. Still, I would put this at the bottom of the sequel trilogy, but definitely like
we're still here.
It's heads and shoulders better than the prequel trilogy for sure. So,
and last but not least, the thing I've been waiting for the most is Owen's final thoughts, because I knew going into this. I mean, when I told you guys we were doing the Star Wars movies, I'm like, man, in like 2 months we get to Owen. This is going to be great. So, Owen, go have at it, sir.
Now yeah, this movie fucking blows dicks. I don't like any of the new sequel trilogy movies because they all just feel like rehashes, like soulless rehashes of the original trilogy. None of the characters are as interesting as the original. I don't enjoy watching them on screen. The chemistry they have feels artificial and completely like Disney-esque. There is fucking, the plots are just not interesting to me. I don't know. And like this one, it like has the added like fucking faults of having terrible pacing and just a convoluted plot. I don't recommend watching this one.
How would you rank episode 7 and 8 though, Owen? Like, we actually
7 is definitely better than 8.
It's okay. That's because you remember, because you were kind of conflicting. We talked about this a couple days ago. You were like,
I mean, I don't enjoy.
I'm not trying to make you rethink it. I'm just saying, like, because you said at least this one is a little more original than 7. But in talking with it, I think you've talked it out. Like 7 is better though. Because
I appreciate kind of what Rian Johnson was trying to do, which was trying to like make the Star Wars formula fresh, kind of, and like mix it up.
Yeah.
But like he fucked it up pretty bad. So like
For me, I'm much more curious what you're going to think of episode 9.
I haven't watched that at all.
Don't look up anything on it, please.
Yeah, I mean, I know the twist with Rey's parents.
Don't look up any opinions or reviews.
And Snoke, like, but I don't have any. I haven't watched any reviews or anything of that because, like, by that time I had lost interest in Star Wars. So,
which is a shitty thing because you're like, this used to be something you get super excited for. I remember episode 9 came around. I'm going to go see it. I was not excited whatsoever for it.
Yeah.
I used to love Star Wars.
I think that's the reason I never went to the theater to see episode 9, because it's like, I just I didn't really feel like it was worth my time. So that's it for this episode, right?
I do think so. I've got nothing else to add. And,
so before
real quick, Owen, would you say you liked episode 8 more than 7? Like this one.
I mean, I don't really get enjoyment out of either of them. Really, like
they're
about like meh in terms.
You can flip a quarter and not give a shit.
But in technical, like as a technical fucking screenplay, like I think 7 is better than 8.
Okay. So we all basically say that 7 is better than 8.
Yeah, on a technical level, yes, but I don't get any enjoyment out of either.
Yeah, I think Owen's like, you can flip a quarter and take a shit, and I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Our next 3 movies then are Mad Max 2.
The Road Warrior. Oh, what a rush.
Oh, what a rush, dude. Fucking brain freeze.
And then it'll be The Evil Dead, the original one. And then it will be Halloween 2018. Not Halloween 1979 or whatever.
Not Halloween Town.
Not Halloween 2007.
Yeah, not Halloween 2007, but Halloween 2018. So
I was talking with
not Return to Halloween Town.
I was talking to my personal little Nigel Thornberry, Anthony, and I was talking about the Halloween movie. He kept getting the plot confused He's like, oh, you mean that? I'm like, no, motherfucker. That was the first one. Okay, you mean, no, that's a fucking remake. I'm talking about the 2018 one. Oh, so you mean that part with this? I'm like, no, that's Halloween 4, you dumb shit.
He did watch them all like fucking back to back. So
yeah, he got confused. I get that, but I wouldn't have got confused. Like, was that Halloween 4 or 5? And I wouldn't got confused the 3 Halloween movies because I know how shitty Rob Zombie is.
Bust a nut.
What'd you say, Cody?
I said, is that the one with Busta Rhymes in it? No, that was Halloween Resurrection.
God damn it! He's like, what about LL Cool J? I'm like, fucking shut up, Anthony. I'm taking your ass home.
Bust a nut.
And tucking you in and saying good night.
All right, you want to do an outro?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you like this episode or if you hate this episode, please follow us on Twitter at FilmoscopyPod.
Send us pictures of your wieners.
No, don't do that.
Please.
Hold on one second, everybody. I got to look up one thing before I sign off.
All right. What is this?
If you like this episode, if you like the show, please subscribe. Give us a like. Leave us a comment.
Subscribe to our YouTube
I'm always
channel.
curious about feedback on these episodes. I get feedback from like 3 people, and 2 people are like, "Yeah, funny episode was funny." That's my girlfriend and my manager at my store. Whereas Alex will give me feedback. So, you guys are great, and Alex is always positive. But I could be shitty and not know it. So please let me know if I'm shitty. So anyway, guys, we want to say goodbye.
No.
Okay, we'll just keep recording. Well, I'm sorry. Cody, we can't end the episode unless
I had a funny idea, but then I fucking forgot it. And it's something to do with a song.
Well, Cody stole your thunder there, but we can't end the show unless it's unanimous, all 3 of us.
God damn it. It's on the tip of my tongue, dude. I can't fucking remember.
Everybody, thank you for listening. And as like every episode, finish him.
Oh, fuck. I don't remember what I was even thinking that was funny.